And good evening, everybody. I was going to say welcome. I guess I could say welcome. It is week 6 of the high school football season. I'm Casey O'Boyle with Northeast Indiana Game Night, joined as always by my engineer right across from me in the snake pit. No one that does it better than Jackson Geiger. He's got his Cubs jersey on. Underneath that, he had another shirt on. I won't discuss what it was because it was kind of rubbing my nose in it. But welcome. Thanks, Jackson, for being here.
Straight out of the Whitley.
Straight out of the Whitley.
And
we'll talk a little Whitley football here in a little bit.
I was excited to see his brother,
Noah,
pop up on the tape this week. Noah. So shouts out to Jackson Geiger. Shouts out to Noah Geiger.
Yep.
And they're representing the Whitley.
Noah like chased every one of those animals off the ship in that game. He was amazing.
It's a wet one, huh?
That's right. To my left, Brent X. Brent, welcome to the cave.
Thanks for inviting me back. I don't know if I'd get the invite back.
Oh, of course. Well, you were in Florida for a while, vacationing, of course.
I was watching some of the games from the pool last.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to your contributions tonight. Next to you, of course, the Cowboy QB makes a return visit to the QB sofa. Joe, welcome back.
It's nice to be back, and I fully understand this is your basement.
Good.
And at any moment, I could be asked to leave, but it's great to be back. I'm so excited. It's week 6 of high school football. The individual performances last week were just awesome.
Yes.
We're also to the point in the season. It's great to have Brent on because now we're kind of the point in the season where teams need to make adjustments. There's some staffs that need to make some changes.
Sure.
And there's also some great stories with some teams that have really come along. So I'm excited about this week's, the game night is just hitting this week. I tell you, if you're from Adams Central, this is your episode. You know what I mean? But great to be here. Obviously excited about high school football and just so good to see the kids in our area continue to excel in the competition on Friday night.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe. Well, you notice I found the football and I put it next to you so you would feel at home.
Yeah, a little old school.
A little old school
there.
there.
Get those laces. You see?
Yeah, I see
have
it.
that hand right there.
And you're not choking it. All right. You got to leave a little room in there so you can spin it.
That's exactly right.
Okay. All right. Let's jump into it. Let's get right into the cover. You mentioned it already, Joe.
Fantastic.
Brent, you were talking to. I mean, a lot of red there. Kind of a fun one. Adams Central, 19 wins in a row. They haven't lost since week 1 of last year to Garrett. And this is a program Michael Mosier has just really built. And we've talked a lot about the fact that they lost 3 straight state championship games in 1A. So they move up to 2A, and then they win the whole darn thing.
Yeah, how awesome was that?
It's awesome, and they're really, they've got something special going on down there. It's a football factory, and the cover this week, Taylor Howenstein designed it. I thought it turned out beautiful. 5 stud athletes on that team, all worthy of some mention, and I was really pleased with it.
Can I critique your cover?
Of course.
You should have said reaching for Mosier instead of more.
Okay, well, next week when I'm doing the headlines, I will send you a text and say, Brent, what do you think?
You write it.
Yeah, exactly.
After 30 years, I think I got it.
Hey. No, I may be reaching for Mosier. Perhaps. Yeah. I see it.
Just a little, yeah.
It's very nice.
Shouts out to Taylor. That's a phenomenal cover.
Yeah, thank you. It's really cool.
Brent and I were talking about upstairs. We really like it. And also, shouts out to Adams Central. Is that not what high school football on a Friday night is? You go down to Adams Central and watch a game, and the whole community comes out.
Yep.
Those kids have played youth, middle school, high school together, been through the battles in the trenches. And, I'm not affiliated with the program, but when they won the 2A state championship last year, I was pleased because,
for sure.
It's one thing to win so many big playoff games, but you want to break through
and get that
get that state championship. But I just can't say enough. That's a lot of that area down there is Amish area too, so it's just interesting that you've got some good old farm boys that get together and play some ball on Friday night.
Yep. Well, let's give a quick shout out to Chris Moon. What about the performance from Southside's Chris Moon last week? Let me read that real quick to you guys. 307 yards on 13 carries.
Yeah.
3 TDs. He had a 62-yard punt return for a score, and he had 2 90-plus yard touchdown runs. Incredible performance by Chris Moon and deserving of our player of the week.
Yeah, he was. And it's good that Chris is getting some of that publicity. I feel like sometimes over at South, when we've kind of been down over the years, some of our kids just don't get the attention that they deserve. So I think Chris is definitely getting the attention. I love the fact that he broke Lamar Smith's
record.
And Lamar Smith, that's got to be the greatest greatest track to the NFL ever. A lot of people don't know about Lamar Smith. Lamar Smith did not graduate from high school on time. And Lamar Smith did not graduate from Southside. And Tom Snider, the coach over at Southside at the time, convinced Lamar to get that GED, then go on down to Northeast Oklahoma, stay out of trouble, play a little ball down there, played down there, did okay at Northeast Oklahoma, got to the University of Houston, ran for over 120 yards up at the Big House, if people remember, and he broke his collarbone. So he didn't play a lot of D1 football, got drafted, played in the NFL. He had the unfortunate incident out in Seattle, which was just a shame. And I know Lamar never wanted that, and that's heavy on his heart. But Lamar always bounced back in life. And Lamar came back and was a 1,000-yard runner for the Dolphins, for Jimmy Johnson, if you remember that. But Lamar's track through life into big-time NFL football was really remarkable. So that was a name that I hadn't thought about lately. It was such a great story for South. But that's a great guy to be compared to. And I'm happy for Moon, and I'm happy I'm just happy to begin. I feel badly about Wayne, but that's another conversation.
Sure.
But I'm happy to see some of these kids from Southside have some success and get their recognition. And thank you for picking him up in game night as the player of the week.
Pretty easy choice. Bless you.
Bless you.
Again, you're allergic to the cave? You know what? I've said it last week.
To the flex bone. That's
I don't know if you know this or not, but there have been papers that are drawn up. I've spoken with your parents. I am going to adopt you. You're going to move here. You can bring your top 6 or 7 goats, and they're all welcome to stay here. I can't wait to have
not going to leave
here.
his brother.
Jackson Geiger.
That's his brother's keeper.
Permanent residence here in the cave. All right, let's go to the column, if you would, Jackson, page 2. As you guys know, my daughter Maura and I were down in Bloomington last week to watch the Hoosiers.
Wow.
First game that she and I covered since the games that we covered last year. And oh my gosh, what I think she said an ass kicking of biblical proportions. Maura said that, not Dad. And I thought, she must be paying attention to her father. I agree with you, Maura, that as we walked out of that place, did you guys notice anything different about the cave over here over Joe's right shoulder?
Yeah, that clock's
that used to be a different color.
Yeah.
Do you know there was I swapped it out. I swapped it out. I went all sick on this wall, on this back wall. So you can zoom in on that later, Jackson. Yes, you have to. You have to.
Has there, in your opinion, Casey, and you too, Brent, has there ever been a greater turnaround?
Never.
In a college football program, if you've ever seen?
Not that I've seen in my lifetime of following college football. I mean, you go back and you think about, Georgia Tech, Colorado, Houston.
Maybe Colorado, but not like this.
No, not like this.
Not like this. Not this quickly.
Not this quickly, and knock on wood, this dominant. I mean, everybody forgets that they had 2 losses last year, and they were to the top 2 teams in the country.
And Brent, did you ever think you would flip on the TV? And I got to be up front. I had Illinois plus 5.5. So I'll just put that out there. I thought it'd be a good game because Illinois is known with their coach for being tough in the trenches. But Brent, did you ever think you'd flip on IU and think that IU had an SEC defensive line?
No, and I think it was the whole defense. I've never seen the secondary fly around like that at IU. Or my team, Purdue, for
and the
years.
linebackers. Yeah, that block punt by D'Angelo Pons, number 5, set the tone. Jones, one of those linebackers, Aiden Fisher, Landino. I mean, they didn't know about that kid. He had 2 sacks from defensive tackle spot. They were so good last week, and it felt like they've been playing things close to the vest.
And that was a good Illinois team.
Yeah,
I mean, that you might say whatever. That's a top 25,
no
Illinois
doubt.
Team.
Yeah, and they destroyed them.
To continue with the Southside theme, starting it off, Cooper, his dad is Adrian Reese.
And his mom is Venema Reese, right?
I'm sorry, Venema Reese. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
he played basketball at Michigan State.
Yeah, thank you. But he's a Reese.
Yes,
and those
Fort Wayne ties.
Yeah, and those were deep ties on the south side of town. So it's kind of fun to see that. But I flipped the tape on, and I literally think to myself, this is IU.
It's incredible. And again, being an IU grad, I've always been an IU football fan, but I was one of those Notre Dame football, IU basketball. Dad went to both schools, Irish Catholic. I
Reversible
graduated
jacket.
from Huntington.
Reversible jacket.
Believe me, Brent. Believe me, if you could have done it, you would.
Hey, now treat them like you treat. Treat them like you treat me. It's your basement.
It's my basement, Brent.
Reversible jacket.
Yeah.
Hey, I do want to say this though. I'm
Yes.
a Purdue fan, but
Purdue's better.
in this day and age, a lot of people like to talk and talk and talk, but don't do the walk.
Yes.
Coach Sig came in, he spoke what is happening into existence.
No
and
doubt.
he said, "We're doing this,"
Totally.
and now they're doing.
This
it.
is who we are.
I mean,
And he backed it up. He's got a ton of bravado. I know people want to hate him, but he backs it up, and they've been really good. Now
Google him.
And if
they've got a game at Iowa. Feels to me like a huge trap game because they've got a week off and then Oregon after that. About they stepped on it. But I tell you what, I wouldn't bet against them. Swami's got the spread at 11. We'll get to that at the end of the show. Spread, but it's only at 6.5 or 7. I think that's easy money.
Yeah,
feels like it.
It feels like it. But you know who else loves Coach Sig? Are the gamblers that bet on IU.
Yeah.
Does anybody ever lay it down?
No,
I mean, you talk about woodshed.
They cover almost every time.
Yeah, impressive. I can't say enough.
Well, it was fun. Maura and I had a blast. She had some fun pictures, some videos, and we had a great time. And they just treat you really well down there, as far as being hospitable. And so we had a great time. They're getting out of their parking lots are a little bit of a challenge, but again, they're not used to having 56 or 58,000 people there. Sure. So, but they're on a special ride right now for sure. We'll talk more about it at the end, but thank you for putting that up. Again, kind of a fun column to write. Not very often you've been able to write positive things like that about IU football. Incredible. All right, let's jump into the featured matchups. You two guys are going to tackle this first one. Jackson, if you would give us 7 minutes on the clock. Can you guys talk that long?
No, Joe cannot.
Joe can't, for sure. And it's not very often that Bishop Dwinger and Northrup is what we call a quote-unquote featured matchup, but it is this year. Why don't you go ahead and start, Joe?
I think it's just so exciting for both programs. I want to send a shout out to Johnny Z. I'm going to call him Johnny Juice because I think he went over there, and it just feels like Dwinger has a lot more juice now. I think obviously the defense is just absolutely fantastic. I love Ellinger. I tell you what, we talk about it. There's always a couple of kids each year that play like they've had their wallet stolen, and that's Ellinger. I love his size. I think Ellinger, Casey, I'd like to see a team maybe like Ball State or somebody come and take an Ellinger, put about 20 pounds on him. I think he'd be a phenomenal slot corner at the next level with that physicality. He can play the run. But Lure's calling card obviously is the defense. I think they
Dwinger.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Dwinger. I got my mind on Brent sitting next to me, but Dwinger's calling card absolutely is defense. What they did last week to Homestead. I mean,
14 yards for the Spartans. That's insane. Not points. 14 yards. And that's incredible.
That's incredible. And that's a 6A team where Dwinger comes in and is much more tougher, much more physical. So that was extremely impressive. And also, obviously, the special teams. Could there be any better special teams in Northern Indiana?
Coached by Todd Ellinger.
Correct.
Houston's father. I'll come back to you in a second. Brent, I got to ask you, if I'm Bishop Dwinger going against that Northrup secondary, which is phenomenal, I'm not throwing the ball. I mean, no disrespect to Henry Jordan. I think he's a nice high school quarterback that's done some good things, and they're going to need to pass the ball to get to where they want to go, I think, by year's end. But in this matchup, I'm just running it between the tackles exclusively. What do you think?
I agree and disagree. I think on first down, they need to play action. They need to play action. I love Campbell. I know he stepped in and took the load on for an injury. But
Cooper Campbell, the running back, yes.
I love the way Campbell runs the ball, and I think they can establish a run against Northrup and control the ball.
Campbell, sorry, not Cooper. They're not brothers.
No.
Campbell. Colin. Yes, okay.
And I think they can establish a run and do all those good things. But teams in the city are so predictable sometimes. I'm not saying this is Dwinger.
Right.
I'm saying it's everywhere. Play action on first down, especially after you establish a run. I would love to see that mixed in. But Dwanger's defense, I think they're phenomenal. We've said that all year, and actually for 5 years, I think it's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
But they haven't seen a test this year in a passing game like they're going to see from Northrup.
Well, along those lines, Joe, why don't you take it from there? I mean,
I think that's a good point. I think Dwinger has gone to the spread now. I think it's going to take some time for the kids to kind of get used to that. If you remember, Jason Dorfler went out to Leo. He put the spread in, and it took about 6-7 weeks for that to really kind of take hold. But I think this is a game where physicality is what it's going to be.
Yep.
And I think you're right. I would like to see some play action on first down. I think Brent makes a good point. But at the end of the day, Northrup is so dominant in the secondary and on the edges. And Northrup likes to play, Casey. They like to blitz a lot.
Yeah,
Northrup will kind of show a 3-man front,
and they
can
afford to play man
with
those guys.
And they just bring everybody.
Yep.
So I think what this game comes down to is going to be really important. I think obviously the marquee is Northrup's offense against Dwinger's defense, but I think this game will be decided by how does the Dwinger offensive line deal with their assignments with all these wild blitz packages. And at the end of the day, when the game tightens up, can Dwinger load up and run right at Northrup? And that to me is going to decide this game. Now I know, again, the special teams are phenomenal, Brent. Dwinger's defense is just off the cuff. I love David with Northrup. Don't tell Doug Dinan how good David's playing right
David
now.
Callison's having a great year for sure.
But I think it comes down to how can Dwinger load up and run right at Northrup.
Every offensive line coach will tell you they love to run against the blitz because if you pick up your assignment, there is no one at the second level. And that's when Dwayner's going to get chunk plays.
Right.
So if Northrup goes crazy and wants to do all their exotic blitzes, if Dwinger gets one seam with Colin Campbell, he can move. And if a safety tries to tackle him, that's not happening.
Or Houston Ellinger. I have a feeling we might see a few
much
more
of
carries.
him, a little bit, yeah.
I think this is
week.
A game. I think this is a game with Ellinger. I think this is a game kind of like what Josh Arntz was for the Whitley many years ago. Arntz was a defensive player, but it seemed like in big moments in big games, Arntz carried the load. I think this is the game where Ellinger, I would not be surprised to see Ellinger in the backfield and Dwinger gets back to kind of the roots of really being physical and running that football. But I think that's just an absolute intriguing matchup. And when's the last time we spent this much time on Northrup and Dwinger, Casey?
Oh, it's been a while. So probably 1983.
But a great way for David Collison to struggle a little bit and get him off his spot is the way Dwinger pressures the quarterback.
Yes.
AJ Shefferly is a kid I watch on film.
Number 9.
I would love to coach this kid. Just watching his motor and the way he gets after the quarterback, the way he runs the ball, when they give him the short yardage situation, I love watching that kid play.
And Casey, help me out. Who's the defensive coordinator again? Dwinger?
Dan Nepper.
Okay.
With Johnny Z right in his ear.
But I want to say
it's Dan Nepper.
I want to say shouts out to Dan Nepper.
Sure.
I mean, you watch the tape. Wow.
But they're always where they're supposed to be.
Yes. They're so disciplined. Now, I love David Collison. Let's talk about David for a second. David is so good. He gets the ball out so fast. Now, I think tomorrow night for David, hey, a little bit of advice, David. You know those flak jackets they have in the locker room? Wear the big one tomorrow night, okay? Not the thin one, the thick one, David. Like the really thick flak jacket. Okay?
Cover up those ribs.
But that ball has to come out quick, and that's David's strength. But if I'm Dwinger, I would also consider maybe putting a spy on David. But I think Brent nails it. I think this game comes down on that side of the ball to Dwinger's going to want to speed David up. David's extremely accurate and not let David get comfortable and have time back there. If Dwinger speeds David up, Casey, and, from my own experience, it's extremely difficult to play that position when all of a sudden you can't really set your feet and you're sped up. And I think that will be the key on that side of the ball.
David Callison this year, 1,350 yards,
TDs.
65% passing, 14 TDs, only 4 picks. A couple of them have just been jump ball situations where he's trying to make a play. And then Guilford, the Ohio State commit, Quay Guilford, averaging 24 yards a reception. That's pretty sick. And then, of course, Maddox Weil, the sophomore receiver.
Don't forget about
right
Portkey in the backfield. I like the way that kid runs the ball.
And
well.
Weil
and Rembert, too. They've got a few guys. And the young Reese kid, Kobe Reese. There's 3 of them.
And shouts out to Weil. He just got an offer from Purdue. And I tell you a funny story about Collison. My son, I went to the Homestead Northrup game, And after the game, I had to go back in the locker room and say hi to David. I'm just a big fan of David Carlson. I love the family too. It's a business family. It's really a real estate bent, but I just had to go back there and
very cool.
Give some love to David. And I came out and my son said, "Boy, you're a real fanboy, aren't you?" I said, "Okay,
nothing wrong with that."
I said, "You want to walk home?" I said, "I like David." You know what I mean? I wanted to see David. But you know what? You're right. They've got a lot of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, again, we're back to the trenches, though. Can Northrup, Brent, can they get some of those Dwinger defenders blocked?
Yep.
That and pre-snap penalties. That and pre-snap penalties.
There'll be a lot of subplots. I can't wait to watch this game tomorrow night. Now, real quick, before we move on, Cornelius Jackson, I want to give a shout out to number 33 there, not because he's Tony Dorsett, because he is a great defensive lineman. 38 tackles, 12.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 QB satchels for Cornelius.
Wow. And my last point on Northrup is after the Homestead game, which I thought they got jobbed in that game, but that's something else. I went in the locker room to see David and Dre Muhammad and all the coaches in the locker room. The message was so excellent.
Good.
And I was excited because that staff out there at Northrup is building this program. And you know what? I think it's good for our area. Northrup's always been a big school that besides Matt Stinson, they've always underachieved.
Correct.
And I feel like, they have the building blocks now of becoming a very good dominant program.
And this year especially.
Yes,
it's been a lot of fun. So looking forward to that matchup. All right, let's get out of that and get into Decalb at Huntington North. Joe, you and I are going to start with this, but Brent, I want any input if you have any. Joe, I'll let you start. Give us 5 minutes on the clock, if you would, Jackson. Decalb and Huntington North. This is a game that, Decalb at the beginning of the year didn't look very good. They have turned it on. They are playing really good football right now. They're our team of the week after last week's big win against the Whitley.
Yeah,
28-7 over the Whitley.
They enjoyed your pizza out there.
They loved the pizza, and they were very grateful. And that's a team right now. I think Coach Robertson in his first year is doing a tremendous job up in Waterloo. And then Huntington North, Coach Mike Eschbach, they started out 0-3, but I kept saying all along, this team's way better than 0-3. They had a tough schedule out of the gate, and they lost their quarterback for a while too.
Yes.
Lathan James, the sophomore. Now that he's back in the mix, this is a really good team as well. So this is going to be a fun one. I'll let you take it from there, Joe.
I think the teams are somewhat similar with their philosophies and the coaching. As far as Decalb with Roberson, I think that's one of the finest coached teams that I've seen this year on tape. I thought beginning of the year, this is going to be a struggle. When they played the Whitley, they came out with their spread, and they showed a lot of different looks out of the spread. It was extremely well coached. The offensive line up there was very dominant at times. The quarterback had a clean pocket to throw.
Eli McCormick.
Yes, and McCormick has a live arm, and McCormick is extremely accurate, and they hurt the Whitley. And the Whitley is good on the outside with some of their corners. The Whitley's got pretty good secondary. And
21 of 28. Sorry, Joe.
Yes.
21 of 28 for Decalb quarterback Eli McCormick last week. 279 and 4 touchdowns. He was a finalist for Player of the Week.
And I felt like that was the difference because, the Whitley was geared to stop the run. But what happened was the Whitley played a 4-2 or a 4-3. The backers were too deep. And Decalb's coaching staff recognized that.
Mm-hmm.
And McCormick had a clean pocket. The ball was not late. The ball was out, but they had a lot of different looks out of the spread. They moved a lot of guys around the formation, and they kind of attacked with their passing game on early downs, Casey, which Brent loves to see them throw the ball on first and second down, then came back and ran the ball. But what impressed me the most with Decalb against the Whitley was it's 21-7 at the half. I'm thinking, okay, is the Whitley going to make an adjustment out of this 4-2 or 4-3? And what's Decalb going to do the second half? Decalb came out with an H-back / tight end, and outnumbered the Whitleys 4-man front and ran the ball.
Yeah.
And that just showed to me that staff, they have the ability to attack you through the air, but then also
make a subtle adjustment and then run the ball.
That's exactly what
Evaporate
it was.
Clock.
They went in at halftime, not satisfied, made a subtle adjustment, Brent, and came out, and all of a sudden, Decalb's run the ball on Whitley, and
they had no answer.
Exactly.
Well, I want to give a quick shout out. Move that down just a little bit, Jackson, just a whisker. Austin Kirkpatrick last week for Decalb. 4 quarterback sacks in one game.
Wow.
Oh, he
Not a
was
school
awesome.
record,
Yeah.
but 4 in one game. That's pretty impressive for number 5.
Yeah, he was disruptive. He basically blew up the flex bone
Mhm.
by himself. I was watching the tape and I was like, well, that series is brought to you by him.
Yeah.
That series is brought to you by Kirkpatrick. But I think when you look at Decalb, then you go over, look at Huntington North. Huntington North also runs the spread. So I think what this game's going to come down to is, and it's great that you mentioned his name right now, because which team's defensive line or which defense
Can disrupt.
can disrupt and get the pressure on the quarterback, because both quarterbacks are good, but who's going to play in a muddy pocket? Who's going to be sped up? Who's going to have to get rid of that football? And I think that will be the key to the game. I like Decalb in the matchup, but I think Huntington North is a team to take a flyer on, because they seem to get better and better and better. But this game's going to be decided by the offensive lines, not so much the run game tomorrow night, guys. It's more going to be the offensive lines of who can protect their quarterback, that he can play in a clean pocket.
I agree. And who can get a tough yard
Yes.
when they need it on a 4th and 1 or something like that, where they have to turn to their running game. But it's an intriguing matchup, and it's a fun one. I mean, everybody knows East Noble's kind of the cream of the crop in that conference. Leo, I think, has deserved the honor of being number 2, even with last week's loss.
Correct.
And then after that, there's a bunch of teams that are kind of stuck there in the middle. I put these two right there at 3 and 4. They feel like they belong there.
And Brent, wouldn't you agree that it's good for the county ball that Decalb and Huntington, are back at a point where not only are they winning, we had a long time where they just weren't competitive.
Huntington, I didn't, like 3 years in a row, didn't win a game.
Yeah. So I just want to send shouts out to those staffs.
For
I
sure.
thought those are 2 schools, because I can be tough sometimes on coaches, but those are 2 schools that I just thought, when I watched the tapes and watched the games, these guys are getting after it.
Yep.
For sure.
Agree.
Well, it's going to be a fun one, and we'll be watching it tomorrow night as well. All right, Jackson, this next one, South Adams at Adams Central. Why don't you give us 6 minutes on the clock? Brent, you and I are going to take this. I'm going to let you start, but we'll bring Joe into the mix too. You like South Adams here, don't you?
I do, because I think, number one, these are 2 different styles of ball. Offense, they're going to run the wing tee with Adams Central. South Adams is going to spread you out and throw the ball.
Yep.
They're going to throw the ball 75% of the time. If you look back, South Adams played Bluffton 3 weeks ago, 41-44, overtime game. If Adams Central's defense right now allowing 8 points a game, if they cannot contain the speed on the outside and they get down 2 scores, I want to see how Adams Central can respond, because with their offense, it's very tough to come back in a game.
Yes.
On the flip side, if Adams Central can go 3 or 4 yards, a play, and keep chucking out first downs,
Play keep away.
because this year their offense doesn't look as explosive as it did last year. It's
Adams
still
Central's?
yeah, it's still
Right. Maybe
efficient.
they're not getting those home run runs.
Yes,
A
it's
lot of
efficient.
short runs.
What do you attribute that to, Brent?
I think it's new players. New
Yeah,
players.
their
and new
backs are
roles.
good, but maybe they don't have the home run type
Mhm.
breakaway speed that they've had in the past back there. I don't know. Vance Miller's having a great year at fullback. Nice picture of him on the cover. And
But-
then Joey Everett is a really complimentary back in
And
his
it's
own right.
very efficient. The offense is always going to be efficient. And sometimes that's all you need if your defense is going to limit people to eight points a game.
Yes.
But they haven't seen this high-powered attack that South Adams has presented, because I think Bluffton has a great defense.
Well, it does, but they got picked apart. Remember, they gave up over 400
points.
passing
Yeah.
yards to that passing game. Titus Lehman
15
feels like he's
touchdowns
been
already.
there forever.
Yeah.
Quarterback at South Adams.
What a great name, though, Layman.
Yeah, and Titus.
He
Look at
can
the nice picture there. Also, you zoom in, go up a little bit if you would, Jackson. Wes Somerset, just a junior. He's having a really good year.
Both those 2 kids can play in the SAC, no problem.
No
Wow.
doubt about it.
That's quite a
Derek
compliment.
McKean is a senior receiver, really good. We've heard that name the last few years for South Adams. And then Jack Swanner. They've got 3 capable guys to catch those passes
And
from
Will
Lehman.
Patterson, who
Yep.
he's sneaky under the radar, but he has 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
He's contributing to this high-powered offense. I just want to see if Adams Central can slow down the South Adams offense, and if they can just efficiently move the ball down the field and score on every possession.
And can they pass when they have to? Remember last week against the Heritage, they won 14-7. Braylon Reber made that acrobatic
Unbelievable
catch in the end zone. He's kind of their guy that Jamison Roach, the junior quarterback, will
Yep.
look to in the red zone or when they need something in the passing game. Let's say they get behind the sticks with a penalty and they're not built for 3rd and 15.
Let me ask you guys this. How much weight do you put on the first couple of series in this game? Do you think
a ton?
If Adam Central can come out and take 8 minutes off the clock and get a 3 and out and then get the ball back and do it again, I mean,
it could be
South
game
Adams
over.
is in trouble.
Yeah, they could roll them.
But vice versa. If they get South Adams can get a 3 and out early and put one on Adam Central and put the pressure on them.
Right. Well, this is in Monroe.
Mm-hmm. That feels so key to me.
I was going to say that it's not turf.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Correct.
And so maybe, the maintenance guys are out tonight, maybe doing some late night watering. I'm just saying.
I've seen
you
that
never
before.
know.
Not Adam Central. I've seen that other place.
Oh, I've seen it in some places too. But everywhere's turf right now. There's just a handful of sites that aren't.
Which I love, by the way.
I do too. I love old
the
school natural grass.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I went over to watch Lures in Northside last week, and I sat there and looked at that beautiful grass field, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
I do too.
There was something about that's the first time I've seen a high school
smell
game.
It's nostalgic.
It was the first time I seen a high school game on grass forever, and I just sat there and loved it. And my son didn't like it because obviously my son's never seen grass field.
Didn't know what it is.
Old, and I was like, son, this is high school football. Do you smell the grass?
Yeah.
Do you smell it? Dad, the game seems slower.
It's like a kid that lives in Florida his whole life, and then he comes home and
snow.
he's 12 years old. Yeah, to the Midwest, and there's snow on Christmas Eve, and he's like, "Yeah, what the hell is this?" He doesn't appreciate
Too
it.
cold.
Yeah, it's cold. No, this is how Santa gets here, son.
I think that is a huge point, though, being in Monroe.
Yes,
Well,
for sure.
But there are, both these programs are going to travel,
and they know each other. And this is the last team in the ACAC to defeat Adams Central was South Adams in 2020.
Wow.
And
I've
it's been that long since they've lost a conference game.
That's a great stat.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
a lot of things in this world are in a circle.
Sure.
This could end it right here.
Well,
we'll see.
sometimes there's a cover jinx, and other times there's not. You ride that momentum. There's going to be a lot of red down in Monroe tomorrow, and that's going to be a fun one for sure. All right, let's jump out of there. Thank you, Jackson. That's our last featured matchups. Now we got some fun. I know Jake's been on deck. I saw that handsome man. Let's go ahead and pipe him in real quick. Jake, the Sneak Smith. Jake, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? That is the question.
You're on mute, buddy. No, Jackson muted you.
I am not muted.
Okay. Jackson muted you. What do you think of that? You're not getting
Am I
on the ride home
unmuted?
next time.
Jackson, did you unmute me?
Yep. We can hear you loud and clear. Jake, thanks for joining us. Let's dive in. Do you have 20 minutes to stay for this next segment?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, you look good, buddy. How's your dad?
Thank you.
How's dad?
Oh, Dad is doing well. They have transferred him back into Whitley County, the greatest county on earth. He's at the Oaks Rehab Facility, and things are looking good for him.
God bless him. God bless him. Our prayers are with him.
Yep, we'll keep praying for him. Glad to see he's golfing at the Oaks, and that's good news. Let him know we're thinking about him. All right, let's jump into this piece. I'm going to let you take the ball. Give us 5 minutes, Jackson, if you would. Jake, I'm going to let you take the ball and run with this. Tell our viewers what you wanted to accomplish with this. Maybe highlight, 3 or 4 of those sticky notes.
Hey, I'm going to rip through this thing for you, Casey. First of all, shout out to 5 Lakes Coffee, best coffee on earth. I'm ripping it in this cup right now. I'm wearing the hat. And let me just preface this section by saying I am not bribed by Trine University or Coach Abs, even though I'm wearing this 6 shirt. And if he sent another one, I'd wear it too. But let's get into it. Also, quick shout to Mike Barber for sponsoring this section as it goes on. I know the standing section that he's going to be on is later in the issue, but I did want to give him a shout early because a lot of these ideas always take me back to his son who was a quarterback at Leo and now plays college football up in Wisconsin, if I'm correct. Great kid.
Yep.
So
good
with
shout
that,
out.
The idea of this is this recruiting section goes on. We've gotten away from highlighting players so much, and we're trying to give parents and players the information that they need to make sound choices on getting their kids into college. If you want to play college football, there's a certain way of going about doing it, and we're trying to highlight that week to week. And one of the things I thought would be cool was not focusing on the obvious Division I schools. You guys already talked about Coach Sig and IU and Purdue, and, we've got Ball State and all these different schools. There's so many players right now, and I'm going to shout Sam Bean out at Columbia City, that are taking advantage of the opportunity for getting an extended education because of the vehicle that is the sport you're playing, which is football. And there are an awesome amount of schools in our state that you can go to that all have something really neat. And I tried to keep this kind of fun and also kind of informative. When you pick a school, you're not just going to play football. Obviously, that sport is what is getting you that scholarship or helping you get there. But you got to try to find, like Coach Abs always says, why are you going to this school? Is there a degree there that you want? What is a good note for the school that you're going to? So I quickly just put some notes down, and every school that's on this list has some cool stuff to offer. And I kept it fun. Schools like Anderson, who have Rodney the Raven, the coolest mascot on this list. Like, look that dude up. You got Wabash, who's just a historic program. They go back. They're one of the oldest programs in the state. You've got UIndy, which I went down to UIndy last year for their game day for homecoming, and it was absolutely fantastic game day experience. Franklin College, you've got the Victory Bell game versus Hanover. You've got DePaul, which last year went to the third round of the Division III playoffs, which is huge. I mean, they were 2 games away from going to the championship. Rose-Hulman, obviously, if you're trying to get an engineering degree, you're either going to Purdue or Rose-Hulman, the Fighting Engineers. Hanover, I found a cool stat about. Hanover has an 11-to-1 ratio. So for every 11 kids, there's a teacher. So you talk about extensive learning, you're going to get very, very hands-on. So if you're looking for a good education, Hanover's a place to check out. Then you look at some of the schools that have had some good success. Like last year, Taylor went 9-2. St. Francis, a school that's got great coaching consistency with only their second coach all time. Marion, you can
Great
speak
pick.
on.
Hang on, Jake. Great pick there by Doug Blackwell, too, of Coach Sherman.
Yes.
Look at that beard, man. That's impressive.
Very
Love that.
impressive beard.
Yeah,
And
go
then
ahead. Sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. Speaking of great coaches, Ted Karras, Marion, you think about the Franciscan Bowl, which is awesome. And then Indiana Wesleyan is on this list, and they are considered by a lot of polls a national championship contender. So you look at all these schools and you break down as a parent and as a player, remember, guys, this is competitive football. This isn't that college football is college football. Yeah, everybody has this ideology to just play Power 5 Division I, or I guess Power 4 now they should call it. But regardless, why would you not want to go to Franklin and play in that Victory Bell game? Why would you not want to go to a 9-2 Taylor team or an Indiana Wesleyan? You're considered playing for a national title. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of trying, and again, I'm not being bribed here, but Coach Abs runs a fantastic program. They just got, he can correct me on this, I want to say I read the number 12 million sticks on my head. That might be an incorrect number, but it's in the millions of dollars of investments that school is getting, and they're going to have a inflatable indoor practice facility.
Massive. I think it's massive is the number.
Yeah, and so I challenge all you players out there that tune in and all you parents, just get into school and play football. If your opportunity, when you go to the UND Mega Camp and they tell you you're a D3 prospect, don't get disgusted with that and disappointed. There are some fantastic D3 schools you can go to and come out of there with a 4-year degree in your study field and play some hellacious football in the process. So I hope that some of these fun facts and little stats kind of give you guys an insight, and I hope it also helps promote our in-state D2, D3, and NAIA schools that are on this list.
Well done, Jake. I mean, that was you got it done right. Right there.
Wow.
Yes.
He's always
He is so good.
He's always so sharp when his Browns win.
Isn't that the truth?
Hey,
Oh, we're not
any
talking
of you
about that.
Packers fans out there, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
about
sitting here. Thanks, Jake.
The biggest Packers fan. The biggest Packers fan is Jake's wife. That's what's great.
Oh,
Yes, Amy and I have not spoken since Sunday. I'm hoping that maybe this week's a little better.
Well, take her out to dinner.
Well, you know what, Jake? You made a great draft pick with Mason Graham. I don't know if you saw his tape. He is so disruptive, and the Browns have the number 1 defense in the NFL, man. So I know it's always tough being a Browns fan, but maybe life isn't so bad, brother.
I agree.
NFL's fixed.
all
Who
right.
cares? All right. So, all right, Jake, we're going to keep you around as we whip through these next games. Thank you for that, Jake. I thought that was a really fun feature and a nice way to give a shout out to all those second-tier programs in the state and let folks know, hey, put these people on your radar. I think it was well done. Thank you.
And last thing, Casey, before you guys move on, I just wanted to note there are a few schools in the state, and Earlham is one of them. And so there's a few schools that their football programs are struggling, and they're coming out with this new kind of division. And I want to say it was called like Swift football. I'd have to look it up again, but it
like
looks
flag
like
football.
Don't get me started.
Okay.
I think it's just a little bit lower division to get more schools that are struggling to keep football as a program going, and it's more of a division within the area. So I'll do a little bit more research on that because it could be a cool way for some guys to still get involved in playing football in college. But I did want to note that I didn't leave those 3 or 4 schools off. That's just the type of football that they've transitioned.
They're in that realm right now. Okay.
Yes.
I just got one quick question, Jake. Playing for a school like Wabash or Trine or those schools, I mean, it has to make a big difference. If you go down there, you're kind of a big dog down there, you're playing real well. You've got to be able to make those contacts with the alumni, Casey. I mean, think about the contacts with the alumni.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
a great point.
It is a good point. I'm sorry. I was
a lot of
doing
times,
sign language with Jackson here.
I mean, I'm not. This isn't the thing I should probably be most proud of, but before I became a CPA, I got my first job in the accounting firm because the head partner liked the way I play football. Okay. It wasn't debits or credit. I mean, seriously, it wasn't debits or credits. I'm serious. I mean, so I think what he's talking about, Casey, about football being a vehicle, I think it's the people you meet along the way.
100%.
I like
I
that.
agree.
Connections you make.
I totally agree, but I can vouch for your debits and credits.
They're
This
tight
man,
now.
this man is on it when it comes to the ledger.
They're tight now.
Yeah.
They're tight now.
That's where I go right
right.
here. Walburn Financial, everybody.
The
All right,
biggest nerd you ever saw.
What?
I'm the biggest nerd you ever saw.
Well, you love you got your ruler,
Oh,
and
man.
you got
You know
your
what?
calculators.
A new pen.
You got
to
Tommy
me.
there. He's like
Oh,
sitting on your shoulder.
That's right. I just feed Tommy Chinese, and we do financial work, and we yell at the news. That's what the firm's all about. And I get so excited too when I get a new pen. You know, and sometimes those pens can be very magical with those tax returns.
Well, you were a sponsor of that feature, so thank you.
Great, man.
All right, Jake, you ready? Oh,
Absolutely.
look at him. He's handsome. You're back. You're up, nice and bold. All right. So we're going to just, we're going to do a 2-minute drill. I'm going to hand this to one, and we're just going to whip through it. 2 minutes on the clock, Jackson. We're going to start with you, Brent. First, Lures at Concordia. I think Lures has to be considered a big favorite here. If you're Concordia, what do you do to keep this game close?
Typically in games where you're the underdog, I would say try to line up and run the ball. But in this type of situation, I've seen Lures against the pass, and I've seen Lures against the run. Lures is very stout in their front 7. If I'm Concordia offensively, Eli Trent, you're going to throw the ball 50 times. We're going to chuck it
Just
to Michael Henley and hope he has a game of his life, and we can protect quick game passing, catch and throw, get it out of your hand. Defensively against Lures, Coach Lindsay has done something over the last 5 weeks where he has figured out his personnel can't be in spread, and they're more effective when they tighten it down and go they go double wing, they get an H back in there, and they run the ball. You're going to have to load the box up, play man on the outside, and just send people to gaps.
Okay.
Lures offensive line has gotten better each week. They're not where they need to be or want to be, but they've gotten better. It's going to be a battle in the trenches, but if Concordia wants to stay, take the Northside game plan and chuck it. Throw the ball.
I agree. And quick comment on Lures real quick. I think the big tackle, he's new to football, Brent, tremendous ability. They've got to get him down the 3-point stance.
I agree. I think that's the best way to play.
He's playing way too high.
He's 6'8" and a half,
I
Joe.
know he is. And you know what?
And growing.
And you know what? He has tremendous potential.
Great feet.
And he played so hard, but he's got to get down to 3-point stance because what's happening is
he's late.
He's late. He's reaching. He's not stepping. And that is a kid that has so much potential. So I agree with just a quick point.
Sure.
I watched the game last week. I thought Lures was going to pack it in and run the ball. If I'm Concordia, I play a 7-4. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do think with that tackle and with the tradition of Lures, so much ability and talent, he's got to put his hand in the dirt.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree.
All right, Jake, this next one's yours. 2 minutes, Jackson, on the clock. We'll stay in the SAC. Snider at Homestead. Jake the Snake, your thoughts?
Well, it's like we talk about every year that everybody wants to kind of throw some dirt on Homestead and Snider's grave if things don't start out early and often for them. And it's been kind of a similar tale between both. They've got some wins, but some of the losses have been like, gosh, dang, man. And I actually had the opportunity to watch Snider at Spoler playing Warsaw. And I really thought that they were going to start to gel in a little bit. Warsaw's Black Plague defense, they call it. They were able to bring down a hybrid front and really put a lot of pressure on Snider, but Snider was able to come back late in the game. It was a good battle. So I kind of thought, hey, that's just, a close game against a good school. They'll bounce back. And then, man, after seeing that East Noble loss, I'm going, gosh, dang, what is going on here? And it doesn't seem like the normal Panthers that we're used to seeing. On the other side of the ball with Homestead, it's kind of the same thing. It's tough when you have so much success in the past that the last 4 or 5 years, the expectation for Homestead is so high. So if they don't, even get to a little past 500, everybody just wants to throw dirt on them. And I was so proud of them to be able to beat that Noblesville team 13-10 in week 2, I think it was, especially after the way they lost to Westfield. And then you look at how they play when they get in those games with how they did with Northrup in that shootout. And, man, to come out 42-36 in that with the weapons that they have, I think both these teams are hungry in this game, and I think it's a great matchup. It's a little bit different for Homestead playing with a backup quarterback. I know Michael White's been, believe he committed to Grand Valley State. He's been hurt, but the backup has looked good. Everybody has high vibes on him. Like to see Carter Kennedy get involved in this game. Could be a game breaker for it. I personally give Homestead a little bit of an edge here, but two teams that from the past have always had success, and I think it's going to be a very hard-hitting matchup.
Yeah, and two teams that, it feels like this is a bit of a bellwether game. They need to kind of redirect their season. And, you go back through the years, Joe, and you think of some of those great playoff matches between Snider and Homestead.
Yeah, and I'd like to add something with that. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with the boys from the east side, with everything going on out there. As far as Homestead, I want to root so hard for the staff, and all the kids live in my district, but I couldn't be any more disappointed. Okay, you're a 6A football team, and you're now coaching your offensive line not to get in a 3-point stance. So don't tell me and make excuses why you can't run the football. Dwinger whooped them. And when you don't get in a 3-point stance and fire off the ball, you're not going to run the football.
That's your new hill to die on this year, isn't it?
You know what? I never thought that I would argue about – I never thought I'd have to argue about full pad flag football out there with that staff. Now I'm arguing about you're a 6A team. No, they have Division I facilities. They have better facilities than they had down in Cincinnati when I played for the Bearcats. You have a big offensive line. Now you're teaching it in the youth. You're coaching your kids to play. Your guards are in a 2-point stance. They can't run the ball. If you go through the stats this year, they fundamentally can't run the ball and are not physical. And I'm absolutely puzzled by that. Are we going to coach flag football out there in that program? Is that what we're doing now? Put your hand in the dirt, and your offensive line needs to fire off the football. If
you want to see some leverage, give us 2 minutes. Thank you, Joe. Give us 2 minutes. I hear you.
I second that. I like to get under the chute and fire out.
As a former O-line coach, you're all over it.
That's the first thing you teach an offensive lineman. Now we're not teaching. I mean, if it's 3rd and 20, okay, yeah. I get it.
And everybody in the stadium knows you're passing it.
Yeah, it's 1st and goal at the 1, and you don't get down in the 3-point stance. And I think tomorrow, Jake, you make a good point. I think that's traditionally a physical game, and that game's going to have to be won in the trenches. But I'm just absolutely puzzled by that philosophy.
All right, I'm going to have you help me with this one, Joe. Southside at Carroll. Your former team, the Archers, coming off that big win last week, their first win of the year against the Carroll team that's sitting at 2-3, and they look not as dominant as they've been in the past. Can Southside hang around in this game?
I think they can hang around early. Carroll's so good passing the ball, and again, Carroll's having problems running the football.
Same deal.
You've got these 6'8". Now, I don't think Carroll has guys that aren't actually putting their hand in the dirt. But Carroll has the same issue where you have these offensive lines with these 6A programs that just are not physical. And I love the quarterback at Carroll, and Carroll has so many weapons, they can throw it around. So I think that's how they'll put South to bed, because South's going to have to absolutely get a pass rush. But I think South can hang around early because Homestead could not run the ball on Southside, and Southside's defensive line gave Homestead fit. So I think you'll kind of see that. I think it was 30-10.
30-10 was the final. Yep.
And I think you're going to kind of see that again with Carroll. But again, Carroll and Homestead need to really focus on the ability in those trenches to be physical.
You want to see them kind of get back to, I was going to say, that physical run mindset to be powerful and not just finesse.
And I don't want to be totally negative because, I mean, those programs do a nice job throwing the ball. You know, I mean, I love the quarterbacks. But at some point, it's high school football. And at some point tomorrow night, it's going to be 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. And you got to look at your guards and your tackles, and you got to get in that huddle and say, look, we're going to go 34 buck. Hey, big boy.
We need a yard here.
I need you to get off the ball.
2 yards.
And so, you know, that's, to me, that's high school football fundamentally is the ability to run the football and stop the run. And so Carroll bothers me a little bit with that same situation.
Well, you mentioned the quarterback. His name is Gabe Freisinger. He's a junior, 1,370 yards. He really does. 10 TDs on the season. All right, next one. Wayne at Northside. The Generals really took one on the chin last week, 46-0 against Southside, and Northside is 3-2, and they had a real heartbreaker. It seems like that Northside Lures game anymore always comes down to the last couple minutes. Joe, I'm going to let you start with this, and then I'm going to let Brent maybe chime in at the end. 2 minutes on the clock. Thoughts on this one? I mean,
I'll be brief on this one. I feel badly about Wayne. It begins to feel like how Southside kind of fell down the hole and had a heck of a time getting out of it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I feel badly for Wayne. I give all the credit to White to go over there and take that challenge on. So I just feel badly about Wayne. You guys can probably comment a little more about that. As far as North, they missed Caleb, but also with North, they've just got to be a little bit better on defense. They've had some situations where they've had some busts on special teams and some mistakes here or there. North just needs to play cleaner. The quarterback at North Rivers, absolutely
what a
fantastic.
season he's having.
I mean, he is so accurate. And Malik Moore, I don't know if I've ever seen a kid, not maybe so much receiver. I don't know if I've ever seen a kid with a better set of hands. I mean, I thought Lures, you know, Carson Bradley is a heck of a defensive coordinator. He was doing everything to stop Malik. Malik just catches everything. But I think North got hurt some last week by the officials. But North's going to have to play cleaner, protect the ball, and North needs better play up front on the offensive line. Now, I think when Caleb comes back, that will make a difference. Hopefully he can come back. But also, North's got some pieces on defense. Leslie Woodson. Now, I played with his daddy, Lane, who I told you is the stepfather of Jalen Smith. Leslie Woodson is named after a kid I played with who was tragically shot and killed. His uncle was Leslie Woodson. So when I watched, I think Leslie Woodson could maybe be one of the more dominant pass rushers we see. So I think North just needs to play cleaner. They need to clean it up. And they also, with North, it just seems like with these games, they need to get off to a fast start.
Right. And this is probably the game to do it. Brent.
I just want to say about the Wayne situation. I coached with Coach White. He's a great guy, great person, great coach, and it's going to take time.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to take time, and I do have faith that he'll get it where it needs to go. The other thing I want to say real quick about Northside, there's teams in the past at Northside where you go down 14-0, and you can see from your sideline, you look over, and the kids quit. They never quit in that game. So I give credit to Coach Johnson.
Yeah, you're right, because you know what? It's a good staff. And Benny is working so hard to get the program better, but he's also putting a lot of kids in school. That's why I'm so big on Benny, because nobody bleeds more for kids than Benny. And I feel like North is so close to turning the corner and being really, really good.
We need Jalen Smith down in the cave. I want him to wear one of those big fuzzy fur coats that he's got.
If you want, I can see if
we get that done.
If I can see if I can broker that, because
he can sit right here between us.
Well, I tell you what, and also, you know, I love that fur coat. You know, I tell you what, does anybody dress better? But you know what an ambassador for our 260 football. And there he is Friday night on the sidelines.
I love it.
I mean, that is just
pretty cool. Yeah,
that's really cool. I mean, think about if you're a kid, you come off the field if you're North. the great Jalen Smith is there to coach you up on Friday night.
The only player in the history of Indiana football to start and win 4 straight championship games, state championship games.
Leave it to Casey to have the stat.
Think of that.
And giving back.
What
to
a special
260.
player he was. All right. Let's get out of there and into the area. Jackson, give us 2 minutes. Are you texting your lady friend again? We've got Columbia City at New Haven. Joe, this is just your show. I'm coming right back to you. You got 2 minutes here. Remember, we're going to delve into some other stuff on the buy or sell.
I just want to say quickly, I'll be brief. I'm proud of New Haven. I think New Haven's getting better.
Nice win.
Nice win. You know what? It feels like the kids are starting to buy in. The kids are playing hard,
Jackson.
and they've got some good talent and some good positional pieces out there. As far as Columbia City, there's just a lot of coaching adjustments that need to be made right now out in the Whitley, Brent. And I just think that that's a situation where Columbia City has to kind of take a step back and think about reassess where they're at and how do they want to deploy their personnel in certain situations.
Well, I thought, again, last week, New Haven kind of got off the snide, put a 45-14 beat down on Norwell, and they were impressive across the board. And so DJ Simpson's having a really nice season, toting the rock for the Bulldogs. I'm really happy for Coach Vance Shear. He's trying to do things the right way. He's trying to instill some discipline, more discipline, change the culture over there.
Sure.
And in doing so, I'm sure he's probably had to step on some toes.
Yeah, he has. And to finish up with New Haven, what I like about Shear is I think I always used to tell Jake Smith, and Jake would always and I talk about this, the mark of a good coach is how hard does his kids play for him and the ability to make in-game adjustments. And I think right now at New Haven, the kids are buying in and they're playing hard. So I think he's halfway there. And I was happy when I watched the tape. It looked good. New Haven looked good, and it felt like New Haven's on the right track.
Right. I thought for sure, Jackson, you're going to zoom in on those helmets back there. There's some beauties there. I know you're juggling a lot there, but do you see them? You can't get it?
I think his head's going to be right in the middle of mine. Yep.
Okay.
I have a large head, Casey.
It's all those brain power. That's what they call. There they are.
There they are.
Columbia City, New Haven. I love that new helmet this year for New Haven with the white. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, next game, Jake the Snake. We didn't forget about you. You're still there, right, buddy?
Still here.
Okay, Angola at Fairfield. I gave you the easiest game to discuss. What do you know about this matchup between the Hornets and the Falcons? 2 minutes on the clock.
Well, it has been about 7 to 17 years, but Hawk Hasselman is finally a senior, boys. This is finally it for him.
Isn't that the truth?
It seems like he's been there forever, but right there's going to be the player of the game, the way that he's conducted himself through his high school career. But I tell you what, that win against Decalb, that 14-6 win against Decalb for Angola is looking better and better by the week, isn't it?
Yep.
And then,
sure.
So obviously you're going to say that the Hornets have the edge in this game against Fairfield, but I will say Warren Kaufman from Fairfield with 9 total touchdowns leads the team. And I think the key to this game is going to be if Fairfield is able to set the edge, and that's going to happen with Lucas Lentz. He's the defensive end up there. A little bit of a game wrecker for them, but I think Hawk Hasselman and company is going to be a little too much to take over.
Yeah, second year Fairfield coach Corey Stoner. I don't know him real well, but I've had some communication with him. He seems like a real positive, good young coach. He also is trying to change the culture up there in Goshen, and Fairfield at 3-2 is doing some nice things. This is a home game for them. I think it's a bit of a tricky game for Angola that could go either way. But again, I think the Hornets have to be considered the favorite for sure. Another kid, you mentioned the Kaufman kid, 667 rushing yards, having a great season. Then Jack Larson on the other side of the ball, 28 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a good hard-nosed football player. Nice shot of both of them in game night this week. All right, let's get out of that one. And our last area roundup game, Brent, you're going to take this one. West Noble at Garrett. Give us 2 minutes, Jackson. Go ahead, Brent.
Coach Monty, every year he just proves everybody wrong. He's just going to put a program out there and do well.
He really does.
He's been there forever.
Yeah.
But I do feel like this team this year, Trey Schisler, their quarterback, he's a run, throw, dual threat quarterback. And I feel like they're more balanced offense since the Pruitt brothers have moved on.
I agree.
Like they're just more balanced. It's hard to game plan for them.
On them. Yep.
And this is a huge game, Garrett, West Noble for the big division in the NCC. West Noble wins this game, it's basically going to lock them up that they're going to win that championship. And they're also one of my favorites for that sectional they're in.
Oh my!
I like West Noble moving forward. They have one loss right now. It's the East Side, and I just like the way they do it.
Brogan Parks, a sophomore running back. There's a nice picture of him in game night tonight, averaging 7 yards a carry. He's a good-looking athlete. He runs really hard.
And the Yates brothers on defense, they control that defense. They're the heart of the defense.
Yeah, it's the Yates, it's the Pruitts. I mean, they just keep
breeding them up.
Yeah, they breed them up there. There's no doubt about it. Well, it's going to be a fun game. Garrett at 2-3.
Offensively, they struggled early in the year. It's starting to come together.
You're talking about Garrett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They struggled early. It's starting to get better each week.
Yep.
New coach.
I think
Alex Guzman has been carrying the load, and if they're going to keep this on track, I think they're going to have to give him the ball more.
I agree, and I think the young QB Wyatt Hefty has to come up with a play too. Whether it's a bootleg or
a play action on first down, maybe.
A play action on first down, maybe. I really love Aiden Hunt. That kid at defensive tackle is just a beast. That Garrett defense is very good, and I think it's a great matchup. And I think West Noble has to be considered the favorite, but would not be surprised if the Railroaders.
It's a big game for that
pulled off an upset. All right, that's it. Well, Jake, I think we're going to cut you loose. Unless you want to stick around, you're welcome to.
No, Casey, I got to bounce. I appreciate you making a few minutes for me tonight, and hopefully I can get things back on schedule as my pop starts to get on the mend. And I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who's been shooting me Twitter messages and reaching out with all your well wishes and prayers. It's definitely been helping. I can feel it.
Absolutely. Well, listen, these guys, I mean, Brent's got like 6 or 7 bags of Happy Brew in the trunk of his car. He's just stealing
all of it.
He's just stockpiling all the coffee. So I still have some. I'm still holding some back for you, brother. So
Joe doesn't need any coffee.
I don't need any coffee. And hey, I love you. I love you, brother. You know what I mean?
You too, man.
Yep. Well, take care of Pops, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, have a great Friday night, brother. Guys, I love yakking it up with you. Let's have some good high school football, and we'll talk to all three of you soon.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Snake.
See you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Jake the Snake Smith piping in from the Whitley. I assume that was the Whitley. Yeah. You just never know with him. He could be on a motorbike somewhere out west or something. Well, glad his dad's doing better. That's really good news.
Been a lot of stress for him.
All right, the next page, let's put the standings up real quick. Let's just do 1 minute. Again, thank you to Mike Barber, for his sponsorship here and his, we kind of moved some things around to accommodate Jake's feature this week. So we used the center spread and made a combo Jake the Snake Eyes feature and on campus. And then Mike Barber, of course, with Bob Thomas Ford, is our usual snake sponsor. He's supporting us right now with the standings. Real quick, guys, anything that surprises you through 5 weeks on our standings? I mean, other than what we've already talked about.
I think. Go ahead, Brent.
I actually am surprised. I thought Northside was going to beat Lures. And that's a big win for Lures to stay undefeated in that B division with Concordia and Wayne left.
I don't
play.
Yeah.
And they're going to lock it up again.
Yep, they're going to lock it up again.
And you know what? And I agree with you because Lures was really in a hole at 0-3.
Yeah.
But it's funny, going out to the game on Friday night to watch Lures and Northside. God, I miss your father. You know? I mean, I thought about your father, Coach X, and just the tradition that Lures has. You know? And I just want to take a minute with his dad because, when we used to play Lures, Coach X would just raise the level of intensity and the kids would always respond at Lures. And I think I would agree with the point about Lures kind of digging themselves out of a hole. And I think, and no disrespect to the players, I think Lures is really limited at times this year. But again, they tend to find ways to win. Mm-hmm. And I was surprised too. I thought North would win that game. So
Swami had North by 3. And it was Lures by 3. It was a great game.
It was a great game. And that was a great kick at the end. I mean, I don't care what level? That's
Or
such
what length,
that's such a
right.
pressure kick. What was it? Homecoming, Brent?
Yep.
Yeah, the
I
Kraus
mean-
kid drilled it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, it was cool. It seems
Sophomore.
like those games finish like that almost every year.
It
I mean,
just-
they
it
just have they have a great rivalry in the last 5 or 6 years.
And going over there and watching the game on grass, you just felt that Lure spirit. But I think that's one that surprises me.
What about Dwinger
Yeah.
and Carroll, like where they're at in the standings?
Feels like they've flipped. Northrup's in that conversation,
Yeah.
and we talked earlier, DeKalb and Huntington North. The winner of that game is basically tied for second place in the Northeast State. So there's been some fun races.
Yeah.
I knew Dwinger would be good on defense. I think
They're so good though.
I'm surprised exactly. They're so good and they're so physical. And Carroll and Homestead, 6A teams, maybe not so much Homestead, but Carroll even could not run the ball on that defense. So
Yeah.
we knew the D would be good, but I think that Lure's responding from the 0-3 hole. But that Bishop Dwinger defense and special teams, to me, that and the resurgence of Northrup. But I think those are the big stories that stick out to me in the standings.
For sure. All right, Jackson, give us a couple minutes on the leaders board real quick here. Want to kind of talk a little bit about this, guys. Look at you can see it up there or in your magazine, the races that we have right now. Let's start with the passing. Jaden Rivers, we talked about him. Almost 1,500 yards passing. Has he thrown a pick yet? I don't think he has
not.
he?
He has been so.
That's incredible. He's
Yeah.
got to
What is
be.
that, 75%?
He's got to be player of the year. He's 96 of 150,
Close to
68% or so. Yeah,
The
but he's
ball's-
got to be player of the year right now in the
Absolutely,
SAC, in
absolutely.
my opinion.
The ball's coming out quick. Benny's calling a good game. Now, I think North needs to get those plays in a little bit faster because on Friday night, Brent, you probably picked up on this. A lot of times that ball's getting snapped at the very last
Right,
moment.
and
So
it
I don't
throws
even
the
know-
timing off just a
It
little
throws
bit.
the timing off. And how much does Rivers really get a chance to?
I feel like he's running 5 miles during the game.
Yeah, it feels like that. And you know what? But you have to wonder as a quarterback, I always wanted to get the play called and I wanted to get to the line of scrimmage like 10 seconds left in the play clock because I want to be able to find the safety. There's at times it feels like North is just in a hurry to get the play off. And I'm wondering, does Rivers even get a look at the defense, which makes it even more remarkable, the numbers. But I tell you what, that Rivers to Moore, what a connection.
What a combo.
What a combo.
Well, and that passing race for yardage is going to be fun to watch here in the Game Night Nation. There's you could go 1 through 10, and I think any one of those guys, maybe not the bottom 2 or 3, but we've got basically 7 guys with 1,000 yards or more, and it's going to be fun. All right, rushing. Nate Foster, I said it last week or 2 weeks ago. You said it week 1. I said he is going to take this over eventually. He's the best back in the area. Is he not, Brent?
Close to 1,000 yards, and he plays safety.
Yeah.
He's not a one-way player.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, he had 256 yards last week, I believe, against East Noble, and they scored 40 points. If you would have told me that beforehand, I think I would have said Leo wins that game.
He's averaging over 10 yards a carry.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's incredible.
It's pretty good. A first down every time he touches the ball.
Well, Chris
East
Moon,
Noble,
you see where he vaulted himself to number 3 on the list?
Yeah.
but speaking about East Noble, my land. How about Austin Phillips?
Austin Phillips is pretty good.
I mean, a freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks
Is
like
he
a
not?
senior.
Is he not the best freshman in the state right now?
No, he's really good. I don't know who he reminds me of.
Can you think of anybody else that rolled into varsity football as a freshman, Casey, and was able to
Doug
compete
Wasilic.
physically?
Doug Wasilic from Heritage. That's a good
That's
one.
call.
Yeah.
I guess Jalen. You know,
I mean, Jalen,
of course, but boy, Austin physically runs the ball, and
on a good team.
yes,
It's not like he's playing on a team where they're desperate for players, and he looks like the best player on the field as a
I
freshman.
mean, it helps to have Alex Scott and their passing attack open that run up for him.
For
But
sure.
He is a monster
Yeah,
as a freshman.
He's really physical, and he's faster than he looks. He doesn't necessarily have the most fluid of gaits, but you watch him run, and he just a little wiggle, but he runs by people.
Yeah.
He's a good football player.
He's very decisive when he makes a cut. He's very decisive.
Real quick, let's talk about the receiving. That's going to be a great race. You already mentioned Malik Moore. Jaden Van Pelt from Carroll leads the area, and he missed a game early in the year. Kean Arroyo from Lakeland, we knew all about him. West Somerset, we talked about him a moment ago. Alex Scott, Jimmy Linker, Quay Guilford, Maddox Weil, Xavier Bell had a nice game last week too.
Tape, yeah.
And then Carter Kennedy. Wow, what a group of receivers. And there's another 5 or 6 or 7 on the heels of those
I
guys.
know. And I'm so bullish on Carter Kennedy. He is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a good football
just
player.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And here's the deal, with the exception of Quay, a lot of these, and Malik, I guess, a lot of these guys aren't getting recruited a
Well,
ton.
Wheel.
Weil is.
Weil.
Right.
Yeah,
right. He just
you're
picked up
right.
on
You're
it.
right. There's some
I'm-
guys that are under the radar. That's a great point. Because how about Alex Scott? Now,
Yeah.
maybe Alex Scott ends up playing defense on the next level, but that's a great point. There's some real gems in here.
Xavier Bell.
Oh my gosh.
Jimmy Linker doesn't have the size, but man, that kid plays the game the right way. I think he can certainly play. Like to Jake's point,
Yes, for
it's
sure.
one of those schools here locally.
If he wants to play, he can.
Bell is so good in the seam. They hurt the Whitley so bad with the post routes in the seam with Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Bell's a nice player.
Yeah, he is a nice player.
Yeah, he's a nice player. D. Jackson. Yeah, we talked about that upstairs.
All right,
Last year, hopefully kickoff against Columbia City takes it to the house.
Yeah.
look at Jackson.
player.
Stat man.
We need to get that guy a microphone.
Stat man.
We got him a bed down here
He
and,
knows his
and
football.
a little pen for his goats.
Yeah, he knows
Can't
his
wait. I
football.
love those goats. All right, let's get out of that action. Let's talk the 2 minutes on the blowing smoke. Get your input on the Swami's top 25. I know Brent, Brent is actually the impetus for the Swami scale back in the day. He used to be part of the degenerate breakfast group on Friday mornings, and he would say, you know what? I wish you would rank like a top 10 or something. Remember that, Brent?
Yeah,
and I did. I came back the next week.
The reason I wanted you to do that, so you'd have it at the start of the year, and I could compare the last thing, see how
Well, of
how
course.
well it went.
Well, it was a great idea. It was a nice conversation point. Well, the Swami took it to a whole new level
You went nuts.
this year with a top 25. And I will say this: it's snarky and it's fun, but the Swami tries to keep it representative of what the top 25 should look like in the year. Any oversights there? Anything you disagree with? Anything you agree with?
The 1-2, I think they should be flipped.
Okay. You remember last year in the sectional, East Noble beat Dwinger 38
38
nothing.
nothing. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I would agree with that if the spread offense comes together and, like Brent says, Dwinger's able at times to throw the ball on first down. If the Dwinger passing attack needs to raise up, I think defense is better. I'm with you. With
You're
defense
talking
and special
hypothetical. I'm
teams.
talking right now. I think
But what
that's
if
where
right
they
now-
belong.
No, I think East Noble right now
Deserves
is
that
a
top
more
spot.
complete team. But
What if I told you Ellinger got 75% of the carries?
then I would probably maybe change my position.
Okay.
You know what? That's a great point. I think I would change my position. I think those are the two teams that are just exceptional right now. And I think, again, it comes down to the play in the trenches.
Warsaw dropped from number 1 to 5. The Swami said
They need to go lower.
only 1 week on top of the heap, and they tumbled like Boy George. Did you get that reference? That's a pop 80s pop culture reference from the 80s, Joe. That's in your wheelhouse.
I have bad.
You got a little Boy George on the cassette tape, didn't you?
Well, I got in trouble. I got in trouble 6 months ago at the gym. I caught myself singing out loud to Milli Vanilli, while I was pumping iron. The guys
Were
came
you
over,
lip
they
syncing
said-
or were you
they
singing
said-
it?
they said, yeah, my gosh. They
You
said,
need
my
a
gosh,
reality
Joe,
show.
are you singing Milli Vanilli? But you know
One
what?
more thing.
Go ahead, Brent.
Adam Central, 7, defending state champ. They haven't lost yet. They got the nut whack.
What's the
You know
nut whack?
You know what I mean?
They
Never
almost lost 14 to 7.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Is that the nut whack?
That's
I
yes.
thought it was some filth that you were bringing in my
No.
basement. Are you sick?
Never
but-
underestimate the heart of a champion.
Fair enough.
But I've seen years.
You want to see them higher.
I think the Warsaw Carroll thing is debatable because I've seen years past where Burt Ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. I mean, I'm concerned about the physicality. I like Carroll's backers,
Okay.
but I'm a little concerned about that. I'm not quite 100% sold
What
on
about
that.
Decalb at number 10?
I think DeKalb's a great call at number 10. I thought their tape was extremely impressive. I would actually maybe even move DeKalb up above Homestead at this point because
Okay.
I think DeKalb's a top 10 program in the area right now with the
Okay.
way they're playing.
With a
Southside's
brand new
moved up to
coach.
20th.
Yeah,
with their
you know
first
what?
win.
I mean, it's nice to see.
Got some athletes. They got some players. And I tell you what, they play hard for Coach Goodwill.
Yeah, and I see Fremont's at number 25. And,
Casino's still open.
yeah, I once won $4,000 at the Fremont out in Las Vegas. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I think I was about 6 or 7 drinks in, but I had a
Soda
nice,
pops.
soda pops. Soda pops. And they had a nice buffet.
Okay. I remember that about you. The casino's still open.
it's
They're
been-
4
I don't
and
know if
1.
I've ever seen Fremont in the top 25.
They're 4 and 1.
You know what? Good for Fremont. You know,
They haven't played anybody, but they're 4 and 1.
4 and
you
1,
know what?
4
They
and
made
1.
the top 25.
They're
You
in
know?
the Swami's top 25.
What
Not
about
for long.
last on that? What about Eastside? What's your guys' thoughts on Eastside?
Up
That
and down,
team's-
but if
Any
they play
thoughts?
well, they can beat anybody.
they're really,
Okay.
really good. They're not very deep.
It's hard to get a read on them when I watch a little tape.
Yeah, Joe Richmond is a really good junior running quarterback, kind of in that mold. Their defense, I think, is vastly underrated. I think they fly to the ball really well. I worry about them against a good passing team. I think they could be exposed or
Their
exploited
size.
there.
Sure.
But it's a really, really solid small school in the Northeast Corner Conference. So hats off to Alex Brandaway, the young coach out
Yep.
there, has done a nice job
He's
with
been
Coach
down here.
Mason right there
Yes.
on the sideline with him or up in the box. I think, Coach
In the
Mason likes to
box.
be in the box.
in the box.
Okay. Let's this last segment, we're going to do 3 minutes. We're going to try to stay on track here. Jeff Mahoney is a little under the weather. He's not going to join us tonight for the Summit City Sports check-in.
Okay.
Hopefully he'll be back next week. Jeff, if you're watching, get better. Hope you feel better,
Yes.
and we'll get you back in the loop next week. But so we kind of improvised a little bit, and we talked this week about doing a buy or sell. So I'm going to make a statement. We've got 3 minutes on each one, Jackson, and I'm going to let you guys try to take about a minute and a half each and either agree with it or disagree, and we'll go from there. Buy or sell. Bishop Dwinger's defense and special teams are good enough to propel the Saints to a 4A state title. Are you buying that or selling that, Joe?
I'm absolutely buying that. No doubt. I think the special teams are maybe
You love Lucas Wynn.
Well, I love Lucas. We trade stock picks, so I have to maybe I have to make a little statement for the SEC or something on here about giving out stock picks and all that. But no, I love the special teams. I mean, the snapper over there is fantastic. I mean, I think
Vance Deep and
I think
Brock.
he's going to go up to Bowling Green, is what I understand. I can't believe Lucas doesn't have a D1 offer yet.
Me either.
I mean, my gosh. I mean, what does that take? And I mean, they have ties down to Ball State. Why would Ball State not offer Lucas? But
Good question. I'm going to send my boy Nick Fiacable a text saying,
send him a text.
get this done.
Luke, not only is Lucas a great kicker, he makes big time pressure kicks. I think the special teams couldn't be any better. I think the defense is just awesome. And to me, defensive football, and we're going to get to this with Notre Dame, but defensive football is about attacking, and it's about attitude, and it's about who's the badass on the field. And I think Bishop Dwinger just has that with dogs all the way across on their defense.
And they're missing a couple dogs. There are a couple kids that could be on that roster that would have made them even better. But
so yes, I buy
they're
it.
not missing a beat. You're
No,
you're buying that all day long.
absolutely
Brent,
all day
what about
long.
you?
Bye. AJ Shefferly, Houston Ellinger, 5 points a game that defense is giving up. Now, I pray that East Noble and Dwinger are on opposite sides of that sectional.
Yeah.
Pray.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that to be the first game. Let's build up to the sectional championship. East Noble, Dwinger.
I think so. That's why they're 1-2. And you know how many years
don't seed it.
there have been so many years where the 4A representation or sectional just has been like, maybe there's one team and if they win it, they go far. This year, it right now feels like those are the two best teams.
I think
East
those
Noble
are-
and Dwinger.
I think they are the two best teams, and it's just both teams are extremely well coached. Both teams are being built with a foundation of defense and special teams, and it just feels like with the staff over at Dwinger and we'll call him Johnny Juice over there. It just feels like Dwinger's got more juice this year. You see more stuff on social media. You just feel like Dwinger.
Well, that's definitely Johnny's influence.
I mean,
Johnny-
I'm also excited about the offensive coordinator over there. I think that Dwinger is going to get this spread rolling. And, obviously we're not talking about the offense with that, but I just think there's a lot of good things with the program. I'm also going to say this. Out Southwest, there was a really good young kid, Cole Pizak, whose dad played at Northern Iowa and was an offensive lineman and blocked for Kurt Warner, and that's a Southwest kid that didn't like some of the ideas with this offensive line playing out there, and he went to Bishop Dwinger. So
Okay.
Dwinger just seems to have momentum in a lot of different areas,
good,
Casey.
a good vibe right now.
But good vibe. But anytime you can go out on a Friday night and have a defense like that, I mean,
if you like defensive football,
I like
that's who you like to watch.
absolutely. When I watch tape, I'm looking at defense, but I think their defense sets the tone, and and I think nowadays with high school football, and Brent can comment on this, I don't think we see the physicality that we have seen in the past.
No.
You watch that tape, or
You
you
do
go
from
out,
that team.
go out
Yep.
to Spoiler and buy that ticket tomorrow night, because that's a defense that comes.
Speaking of Spoiler, the next one here. Give me 3 minutes, Jackson. Northrup will win its first sectional crown since 1999, and only the second sectional ever. You buying that, Brent, or selling that? In their sectional
I know.
total, Carroll,
Elkhart, Snider.
yes,
Bye.
they're doing.
Bye.
You think they
I
get it
think
done
They're getting better up front. That
on
is the
both
key.
sides?
That is the key. They are getting better up front. They're protecting the quarterback a lot better than they were early in the year. He can sit in the pocket and they have weapons everywhere.
Their
Yes.
skill guys are
And their
awesome.
secondary is
Agreed.
just loaded.
I think they've got some weaknesses on their special teams. Would you agree with that?
I
Especially
think
their
special
the kicking
teams
game.
and penalties. Those two things.
They clean that up. You
Clean
like
it
them?
up, and Carroll's your test.
Well, yeah, and then they've always had trouble beating Snider, even in those Stinson years when they got one time, but during the regular season, remember that year that Northrup made their run, they couldn't beat them in the regular season. They lost 13-10.
That's next week. We'll find out quick.
What are your thoughts on this? Are you buying this or selling this? I mean, it's a small sectional. I think that bodes well because you only have to win 2 games now to win a sectional in these bigger classes, but you still got to get by Carroll and Snider. Can Northrup do it this year?
I'm buying it, but only on these based on a couple of things that need to happen. I think more of their frontline top players need to play special teams because they've had some bust on special teams that concern me. But if they can clean up the special teams, I agree with Brent. And I also feel
Are you thinking like kickoff team, everything? I mean,
Yeah,
across the
I'm
board,
thinking-
put your best
thinking
guys.
Guilford and these guys have got to play kickoff,
Gunners.
kick return, gunners. Brent's absolutely
Put
right.
your best guys
Now,
out.
You got to. I know you don't want to do that because you want to give guys a blow, but that's been a weak point. So I think those guys have to play on special teams. I also agree with Brent because what's different about Northrup this year is David is so good throwing the football, but what's different is you could put Guilford back at a Wildcat,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden you have a whole nother look. That's difficult to prepare for. But bottom line, when it comes down to me for Northrup is, they're playing kind of an exotic attacking defense. They're going to have
Showing
to get,
different looks.
but they're going to have to get better D-line play. If the D-line play can get a little bit better, and at times they can be a little more, there's times when you watch their tape, they're attacking, and those ends or those backers are just running by guys upfield. There's times you have to motor down.
Sink.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Brent. There's times you have to motor down, Casey, and understand gap control, situational football. But if they can get that, I would buy because I think they have, not only are they an exciting team to talk about, I think they have a big ceiling. Like when you look at some of the teams right now, we're not sure about Snider and Homestead. I don't know how big those ceilings are. I love the boys from the east side, but I think Northrup has a big ceiling to get
Because
even
there's room
better.
for improvement. But
There's room for improvement.
If you have to buy or sell right now,
I'm buying.
no hypotheticals. You're buying.
I'm buying.
You think
because I'm buying.
they close that gap
David Collison is so good throwing the football
and keeping his eyes
and he reads
downfield.
the defense so quickly. So I'm buying.
Yeah, he's done a nice job when the
Yes.
pocket collapses of keeping his eyes downfield and finding his secondary receivers. All right, next one, guys. 3 minutes, Jackson. I'm gonna let Joe start with this, but I want your input
No,
too.
I'm coming.
Columbia City's flexbone offense, has the code been cracked? The code has been cracked. Are you buying that or selling that?
Yes. And this is something I've been critical of for the last 2 or 3 years. Now, I want to say I love the Whitley. There's nothing like watching a game out there. I'm so excited about Jackson's brother, Noah. And I got a lot of ties out to the Whitley. And I like the staff.
Beautiful facilities.
Beautiful facilities. But that flex bone, it's absolutely cracked and in trouble. And the thing is, and Brent can get in this a little bit more, you typically play the flex bone when you feel like you don't quite have the talent to match up. Maybe 10 to 15 years ago with Columbia City, I would agree with that. Not now. They have dogs. Columbia City.
More athletes.
Columbia
the ability
City,
to throw the ball more.
Gabe, the quarterback up there,
McDevitt.
has the ability to throw it. He's a QB matrix kid They have a kid, Firth Miller, at tight end, who's a tremendous athlete. They have athletes across the board. And the problem with the flex bone is you get the same 4 plays going to the right, going to the left, and the teams know what's going on. I mean, I went to one game and I was walking in. The kids that are like 12 years old that are throwing the ball out and, not really watching the game, but kind of tossing the ball around.
Do they throw Nerfs anymore? Is there a
Nah,
Nerf out there?
Once in a while, you'll see a Nerf.
Okay.
But they actually were calling out the plays before the Whitley Ram. I mean, I'm telling you, everybody knows the Whitley's plays what's coming. And I'm telling you, there's so much talent. Imagine playing in the offense that when you line up, the opposing defense basically knows what you're doing. So I would attack.
Do you think the code has been cracked?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I think Brent is going to disagree. Brent, what are your thoughts?
I do not think the code's been cracked. And actually, he just brought up a great point for me. If you have the athletes, you need to add to the bone. More play action, more scissors, more trickeration. The wishbone's all about quarterback reads and lead steps up front. If you don't match up front with the team, you run the wishbone so you can get right on their hip, make a good step, cross your face, and run them. It's a very simple offense.
Is this who Columbia City is? I mean, this is what they do.
I think you can't have 4 plays in the bone. You need to add to the bone.
That's the problem. Brent makes a good point, and I want to counter back.
So it's been cracked because it's not evolved. The offense has not evolved.
It hasn't evolved. They don't. You know what? I watched their whole tape. They don't throw a first down pass. Okay, they come out and they run the same 4 plays. Now Decalb's down 21-7. Their defense was so vanilla too. Decalb had a clean pocket the whole game. Columbia City plays a 4-man front. I'm screaming at the tape, blitz the backers, get the backers involved. They finally bring a backer, blitz them, get a turnover, get a ball back. It's 21-7. What do? They come out and run the bone. I didn't see one first down pass. I don't see play action. The other thing is Gabe is a talented quarterback, but when you run the ball, when you want to throw the ball and you roll a right-handed kid out to the left, actually, that's what got me in big trouble with.
Yeah, you hate that. Yeah.
We won't go there.
Don't go down that road.
We won't. Okay.
Don't go down that road.
Don't go down that road because I'd like to go there. But anyways, anytime you roll a right-handed quarterback out to the left, and
unless it's John Elway,
ask him to throw back across his body to half the field. The kid's not going to be successful. So Brent makes a point. It hasn't expanded, but I'm sick of the
put a ball on this.
I'm going to end this by saying I agree. You have to expand it. And you have to throw early. You cannot put a quarterback in a position where it's 3rd and 9 and say, we're in the bone. Go ahead and chuck it. That's not going to work.
Okay.
But that's it.
Excellent. 3 minutes.
I love the bone.
Who doesn't love the bone? I mean, Archie came down and Archie came down and got a milk. He got a rawhide bone. He stayed all of like 12 seconds and he booked back upstairs. We all do. All right. Zebras. Joe brought this one up, and I know Brent's going to take him to task.
This will be good.
3 minutes. 3 minutes,
okay.
Please.
This will be good.
Here's the statement: buy or sell. Too many personal fouls being called at the prep level.
I buy not only personal fouls but penalties. I've been to
penalties in general.
I've been to 5 games this year, and 4 of the 5 were decided by the referees. Seriously. And what I hate is this. Now, I didn't talk about this, back in my prior life, and I used to do games on Friday night for Summit City, but I never talked about the officials during games. I feel like it's kind of a little bit of intellectually lazy. Also, we're having a hard time finding crews.
Yeah,
so
you don't want to.
I love the guys. I want that, but I'll tell you what, though. When I leave a game last week, the Northside Lures game, when Malik Moore catches a touchdown pass, runs down the field and turns around, and all of a sudden it's a personal foul for celebration or whatever. What's hurting the game in our area? I'm going to these games. I'm seeing an average of 25 to 35 penalties a game. Every play is a penalty. And so it's killing the game. And what hurts is this. When I leave the game last week, I want to hear about that great field goal kick that the Lures kid made under pressure, or the great touchdown on the kickoff return by Kelly, or maybe Malik Moore's great hands, or Jaden Rivers' accuracy.
Instead, what did you hear?
All I hear about is complaints about the officials all the time. I went to the Homestead Northrup game, and I'm sorry. I love the kids from the West Side. I live in the district. Northrup got absolutely hosed. I mean, it's so bad, Casey. And they
dominated that game.
They dominated the game, but you know what? When Homestead stopped on 3rd and 10 at midfield with about 4 minutes left, and the kids are jawing, all you have to do as an official say, you guys knock it off, get back to the huddle. You call a 15-yard penalty on Northrup, which all of a sudden, instead of Homestead punting or Northrup having the chance to close the game out, automatic first down, Homestead gets the field goal. The problem is they're deciding the games.
Outcomes.
It's got to stop.
What are your thoughts, Brent?
I'm selling. I'm going to go the opposite way because it's becoming too much. You watch any incomplete pass, the DB celebrates. You watch a kid catch a slant in a game I watched for 8 yards and they're losing and he gets tackled for 8 yards and he either does the first down sign or in this case threw the ball at the DB and the DB caught it like, what are you doing? You didn't even get a first down.
Taunting.
It's taunting. Yep. They didn't throw a flag. Like it trickles down from the NFL and college. Let's just old school. Hand the ball to the ref, pick the guy up, knock his head off, pick him up after, go back to the huddle, and do it again over and over again.
Right.
You sound like your dad.
Well, I was going to say, sounds a lot like Coach X, and that's
how Coach X was.
Yep. And I kind of lean towards. I mean, I hear both arguments, but I'm leaning towards Brent's thinking a little bit too. I want to see it cleaned up. If I'm an official or a crew, I'm telling both coaches and captains at the beginning of the coin flip, this is how this is going to be done. We're going to have zero patience for personal fouls, taunting, all that kind of stuff. Now, the other calls, I can live with sometimes. I mean, you have to evaluate each one individually. But as far as the showboating and that, I want to see all that cleaned up. I don't think there's no place for it.
It just feels like, though,
the timing, it just doesn't make sense.
There's just penalties every play, and every play is litigated.
Well, you guys saw one last week.
I mean, I feel like I'm sitting in my lawyer's offices all the time. You know, I mean, every play is litigated. Every play is a penalty. My gosh, the game was tied with 4 seconds left, and North just wanted to take a knee. You think the kid could put his hand on the football and snap the ball? Penalty. Then a lot of times they're throwing penalties, stops the game. They get together, huddle up. Oh, yeah, it's no penalty. There's no flow to the game.
Gotcha.
Okay. And honestly, maybe more with me because I was a quarterback.
For sure.
I was a quarterback. I wanted to get into the flow. I wanted to get into a rhythm. My gosh.
Yep.
The games, and maybe I've seen the games maybe that were a little more heavily penalized, but I'm telling you, I'm going to game every week. I'm averaging 30.
Maybe they see the Cowboy QB come in with that Stetson hat and they're like, all right, let's put on a show for Joe.
I complain. I go to these games with my son, and I catch my son yelling at the refs. And I'm like, look, we really shouldn't yell at the refs, but my gosh, that line judge at the Lures Northside on Northside side this week. Oh my gosh. I mean, so bad.
All right, shout out to that fella. Keep doing your best.
Yeah, thank you for
your
thank you
for enduring
service.
The abuse. All right, great segment though. All right, 3 minutes. Buy or sell. Brent, you're going to start. Adams Central wins back-to-back state championships this year.
Not whack. Never underestimate the Harvard champion. I say yes.
You're buying that action.
Yeah, I'm trying to think in 2A.
But you also said that. But you also said that this team doesn't seem to have the home run threats in that running game.
I forgot about a team that's in 2A North.
Who is it?
Andrean.
You don't think they can beat Andrean?
No.
Not what I saw. 300 pounds up front across the board. Quarterback that can sling it.
Oh, my. Bulletin board material.
I don't know if Adams Central, and I love Coach Mosier. I love this program. I love the discipline. I don't know if they score against that defense.
Put the Andrean Lures tape on.
Yeah.
And then come
I watched it.
About that.
Yeah, no, I watched it.
They're big. They got
some studs.
D1 players. It's why I thought Lures would lose that game, and it would help them as they move forward.
It did.
And it will help them.
Yep.
It will continue to help them in the playoffs. But that's going to be a tough task for Adams Central.
So you're selling. You selling because of that reason too?
I'm selling solely because of Andrean.
Even with that cover?
I love the cover. The cover's absolutely
Andrean is a different beast.
Again, shouts out to Taylor. I mean, that's a fine piece of art. But Brent's absolutely right. When you look at a front line that's that big, I'm selling.
Okay.
And they're not just big and sloppy.
They move pretty well, and especially at that time of the year. But I don't know. Adams Central, again, I think a year ago, let's rewind this conversation in our minds. I don't think any of us, especially knowing Indy Lutheran, moved up to 2A as well.
That's what kind of made it sweeter.
I mean,
that's what made it sweeter.
No, for sure. But I mean, if we're being honest, we were saying the same. We were doubting Adams Central.
Indy Lutheran's not Andrean.
They were for 3 years in a row.
Not up front.
No, I think they're similar to Indy Lutheran 2 years ago.
Athletically,
2 years ago.
That team was pretty big.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and then they destroyed the team that upset Indy Lutheran,
Yeah.
so they left no doubt. So we'll see. I hope they prove us all wrong.
I hope they do too.
because
I just watched Andre and I said,
matchup nightmare.
yeah.
Andrean
And
was
that
nasty.
quarterback is good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Andrean was good.
Okay, well, there you go, Coach Mosier and Flying Jets. You've got some material
I love Coach
there.
Mosier. I love Coach Mosier.
We always give a little material out, don't we?
I think we do. I mean, when Archie's down stealing bones and running back upstairs, this is all hell's breaking loose. All right, give us 3 minutes here, Jackson. Next, buy or sell. We're going on campus for these next two. IU has a legitimate shot at a national title this year.
I absolutely buy. And my question is, what are their odds right now to win a national championship?
Well, they're 58% chance to make the college football playoff.
Is it 10 to 1, 15 to 1,
Oh,
21?
it's got to be 25 to 1, 30 to 1.
That's worth $1,000. Okay. Because the reason I say that is they have a D line and the defense is nasty. And the quarterback
is playing at a high level.
The quarterback is very cerebral and the ball comes out quick.
There's that new clock up on the wall. Thank you
Yep, he got it.
for
Good
that.
timing.
Plus 4,000 to win the national championship.
Okay. So
Plus 4,000.
40 to 1.
40 to
You
1.
gonna put some money on that?
That's absolutely worth about $2,500.
Why wouldn't you
Why wouldn't you?
drop a quarter on that?
So,
What do you think?
My only concern is the Miami. I think on Saturday night you're going to find out about Penn State and Oregon, one of those teams, and I think LSU has a really nasty. I can't stand Kelly, but
They're talented.
LSU's talented on defense.
No, it wouldn't be easy, and they got to get there. But what they did last week was impressive. I know it's just one game, but it looked to me, and being there, eyeballs. There's that vibe that they had last year when they raced out
I
to
will
10
say
and 0.
this: my eyeballs, and this is only 3 weeks, 4 weeks in.
These are boiler eyeballs, by the way.
IU looks better than Notre Dame.
No doubt about it.
No
I
doubt
switched the clock for a reason.
No doubt about it.
Put your jacket over already.
but again, the play in the trenches, the defensive line, Illinois, Bielema prides himself on offensive line.
Well, Signetti said post game, he said, we watched the Duke game and they got after the quarterback.
Oh,
Duke did again. Altmaier, the quarterback.
Yeah. And
So-
Altmaier's really good.
He's really good. And they ended up dominating that game in the second half, did Illinois 2 weeks earlier against Duke. But he said on film, he thought they could dominate that front with their front. And he was right.
So
You're selling it? No way they can do it?
No.
Will they make the playoff?
I think if they beat Penn State or Oregon, just one of them,
I don't think they have to. I think they can go 10-2 and they'll get in.
because then they don't have to play in the Big Ten championship, so they get that week off. They don't get a loss there.
Well, if you make the Big Ten championship, unless you've got a bunch of losses for some, inordinate reason, you're going to make the college football playoff with 12 teams. I think if they go 10-2, they're in for sure. And I think this week at Iowa is kind of that pivotal game because that's a tricky one. It feels like a trap game. That Iowa always seems to sometimes rise above in that situation. They're going to be super confident. O-line's really good. I don't know. To me, more is going. Game night sending more up there.
Wow,
yeah.
great.
So it's I think if they win that game, they prepare and they somehow beat Oregon up there. Oregon's young. They're super talented, but man, IU looks really, really good right now.
I think Oregon's a bit overrated right now.
We'll see. Purdue is better. I know they're not on here this week. Purdue is better. And I said that
The
with this new coach.
offense and athletically, they do look better.
Oh, but I think all
Defense.
3 phases, they're much better.
I don't know, man.
But how
That's secondary.
IU and Notre Dame scored 66 on them last year without blinking.
but
They're a different
but
team.
Jackson, God, how hard it is just to wholesale your whole roster like
That's
they do.
why the IU thing is so impressive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just can't believe how I think Purdue is better.
They're better.
But
Good
Brett
coach.
makes a great point. That's why IU's so impressive. To wholesale your roster and to be able to have it come together. Not just on one side of the ball, but offense, defense, special teams.
Yep. Every phase of the game, they're playing at a high level.
The way they wholesale the rosters now.
Yeah. Well, Coach Sig is the real deal. All right. Next one. Speaking of real deals or lack thereof, Marcus Freeman is not the guy to lead the Irish. Brent, are you buying that or selling that?
I'm buying only because what is his best win?
Georgia last year in the playoff. Texas A&M last year on the road. Those two. But he's had more bad losses than great wins.
Any big game, I feel like, where Notre Dame's top 10, they play a top 10 opponent, it usually doesn't go their way.
And they've played down to their opponent many times since he's been
Illinois.
there. Yeah.
I mean, that's a big letdown.
Yeah, for sure. Marshall. I thought they laid an egg against Miami. Very good Miami team, but I thought Notre Dame's game plan was atrocious. And that defensive coordinator
He's
not been
a
good.
defensive guy.
Marcus is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's given too much latitude to his assistant coaches, and the game plans just haven't made sense. I only watched some of the Purdue game from the press box last week
like some other
because all the delays.
Yep.
It's just they something's off. And I want Marcus Freeman to be the guy because I like him for all the right reasons. I think he's a good man of character. I think he's a great recruiter. You asked me that 2 weeks ago. But I don't know. I kind of made the statement last week. I'm kind of off the bandwagon until he brings me a natty. It's kind of all or nothing.
I sell on that because the reason I do is I don't think there's anybody who can connect with the kids and is a better recruiter right now. You are going to have an inflow of tremendous players. I think he's very personable.
No doubt.
I think he's very well liked. He's respected. I think he's a lightweight when it comes to game day coaching and preparing. And I think his mistake is, I think his problem right now is this. It's almost like being a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. If I'm the CEO, I'm going to walk down to the CFO's office. I'm going to say, okay, you're doing the accounting, but I want to know, what is your revenue recognition principle? What is the depreciation methods that are using? I want to know how you're capitalizing assets. I want to know how you're getting to my financial statements. Okay. He's not doing that. What he's doing is he's being the CEO. He's taking the pictures with the recruits, doing all that. But what he's not doing is going down to, he's not sitting in on the game planning, the schemes, this and that. He's turning that over.
Or if he is sitting in, he's not putting enough of his fingerprints on it.
Yeah. If he is sitting in, then maybe you guys are right. I'm really concerned. I think he's blindly turning this over to the coordinators. Last year, watching Drake Bowen, last year, Notre Dame on defense, they played man-to-man, and they ran downhill and attacked.
They pinned their
Drake
ears back.
Bowen was physical, athletic, and just blew everything up. Now I'm watching Drake Bowen backpedal, tripping over his feet in coverage. And so I don't understand why Marcus, as a defensive background, like Brent just said,
doesn't walk in and say,
doesn't go down
let's
there
do what we did in the past.
and says, what the hell are you running?
Yeah.
You know what? You play one more zone defense, your ass is gone.
Right. I'll take it over.
I have recruited the best, fastest players in America. I want to see an aggressive 4-3, or sometimes I want to see linebackers come.
Is that your phone?
Yeah, I think that's Notre Dame calling right now. Right? They're like, look at that. That's Coach Fox calling about the flex bone. I think that's probably Coach Fox. Don't answer it, okay? All right. Well, I'm not here, okay? But no, I think though, you make a point. Look, it's your program. You have to put your fingerprints on it.
Yes.
What is Marcus Freeman's defensive style that he wants? Right now, he's delegated to a coordinator, and they have a horrible defensive coordinator. And again, it gets back to ego with some of these coaches. Why would you not play the same attacking, aggressive scheme? And either Marcus Freeman steps in these meetings, gets involved in these game plans, and takes control of some of the stuff, Casey, or he's not going to make it if he delegates to coordinators that just don't know what they're doing. And I think that's what he's up against right now. And actually, I think the game against Arkansas, I think that is a pressure.
Down in Fayetteville.
Yeah, I think that's a danger game for Marcus right now. You better win that one.
You better win that one. You come back from that 1-3.
Agreed.
And the
echoes
come out of the woodwork.
Well, because the Grumpy,
I'm changing the whole damn basement at that
but you know
point.
what though? But the Grumpy Swamis of the world saw Northern Illinois. I mean, Marshall. You guys have seen.
We've been patient.
You have been patient, and you saw
the expectations have to be higher.
You saw an attacking defense in the playoffs last year. Now you're sitting back wondering, why are we not playing the same style?
All right, get out of this. All right, give us 2 minutes. We're going to do the picks. We're going to do 3 games each. 2 minutes per game. I'm going to let you guys talk about who you're picking and why. You got about a minute each. Let's try to keep it within 2. I'll go ahead and tee it up. Brent, you're going to go first. The first matchup, Bishop Dwinger at Northrup. The Swami, I don't know. He's crazy. He thinks Dwinger by 8.
I'm gonna take Northrup, but Dwinger's gonna win this. It'll just be the way Dwinger wins. Hard defense, scores enough points. I think they win by 7, maybe 3 in that area.
Okay. So you like the Saints to win, just not to cover. Everybody said that last week at the breakfast table with the Homestead, and it was 15-3. The spread was, I believe, 10. Swami gets he gets lucky sometimes. What do you think?
Again, shouts out to David Collison. Wear the big flak jacket. Okay. Not that little one they have hanging there. I'm talking the big.
The one from the 70s.
Yeah, the one
The
from
old
the
school
70s
stuff,
where
yeah.
you can't even tuck the football. Okay. Dwinger's too much. Dwinger's too dominant on defense. That pass rush will be absolutely ferocious. I think Dwinger wins by 2 touchdowns.
Okay, so Saints cover. You like Northrup and the points.
But
Okay.
I like Dwinger to win, obviously.
Yes, but you like the
Points.
Bruins to cover.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that was quick, guys. Let's give us another 2 minutes. Thanks, Jackson. Decalb at Huntington North. I think this is another great matchup. Joe, I'm going to come to you first. Swami says the Barons on the road by 7. Does that seem about right?
I think Decalb wins by 2 touchdowns. I think Decalb is really in the groove right now with their offense. They're multiple with the spread, extremely well coached. Decalb's feeling good, and Decalb's got some dogs up front. And I think that game will be decided by the Decalb pass rush. And I think the Huntington North, the quarterback will have problems in a clean pocket. And I think Decalb takes care of Huntington North by 14.
Huntington North's had some big plays in special teams this year. The Vikings have, I think, deceptive speed. I think this game's closer than 2 scores. What do you think, Brent?
I agree with him. I think DeKalb is getting it going with their new coach, and I think they are making adjustments at halftime. You don't see that a lot when a coach can come out and say,
Correct.
"All right, this is working,
Great
but
point.
now we're going to do this to be able to run the ball at halftime
Great point.
when we're winning because we're going to take the air out of this football." I like that. I'm going to take the DeKalb by 10.
Okay, so it's close. I mean, 7 isn't too far up, but you like a 2 scores.
yeah.
You're saying 2 touchdowns. You're saying 10 points.
Yep.
Okay, well, we all like DeKalb. Well, at least the Swami does. I'm not sure who I like. I don't even know what day it is. South Adams at Adams Central. Give us another 2 minutes on this one, if you would, Jackson. Another great matchup. Adams County, we can't forget about Bluffton, right? They beat South Adams in that classic matchup a couple weeks ago. They're waiting in the wings for Adams Central. It feels like maybe a bit of a trap game for the Flying Jets, knowing that that's coming down the horizon and that they got all this love this week. And now that we just, basically ended their postseason chances because of Andrean. Joe, I'm going to come to you. Swami says Adams Central by 9.
I think it's woodshed time. I think it's over early. And I'm going to say Adams Central by 21.
Oh, my.
At least.
At least. Last year, South Adams only had, I think, 47 passing yards in this game. Now, it could have been raining. I don't recall. But if they get that, and it's a totally different secondary this year, but if they get that kind of production defensively, Adams Central, I agree with you. I think they roll. But Brent, talking upstairs, you think South Adams?
I like South Adams by 3.
You think they win this
Win
outright?
I think life is a circle. Is that what they say? So the last win in that conference, or last loss Adams Central had in the conference was South Adams.
2020.
Yep, and this is the 20th win potential for Adams Central.
You're a numbers guy.
They're not going to get there. South Adams
Rises
wins.
up.
The whole county. I'm surprised you're not going. You're a county guy.
I love
the whole
county,
Adams
man.
County is going to be in one spot tomorrow
I'm
night.
half
I got a
tempted.
little
Cowboy
county in me,
hat.
baby.
You should be there right there.
I'll be
Wear my big hat. I'm going to go down with Jackson. I'm going to go down with Jackson Geiger to the county.
Swami's going to be delivering on his magic carpet right before kickoff. He's half tempted to just park it right there in the corner of one of those end zones and watch some football.
I would
'Cause
definitely go down and watch that.
I'm with you. I think it's going to be a great environment.
South
And
Adams.
I think about this, though. If South Adams wins that game in a couple weeks, they become the biggest Adams Central fans ever. when they play Bluffton,
Bluffton, yeah.
right, to get a 3-way tie. But yeah, it's been a fun race between those 3 schools, and I think South Adams can make another run
I
this
just
year in the
think
playoffs.
South Adams has so much firepower on offense, and they've seen this Adams Central defense. Now, have they stopped it in a while? No,
Right.
but they know what to expect.
Right. And to your point earlier, they don't seem Adams Central doesn't seem to have those home run hitters in their running game, perhaps that they've had in the past. But I think this is a game Jamison Roach, the junior QB, could have a really nice breakout game.
It's gonna be a great game.
Okay. You don't need to do any more clock. We're kind of breaking all the rules here anyway. Let's just wrap this up with some predictions. Why don't you guys pick 3 games each from the undercard? You can pick college games if you want, but you can't pick the same game. And I'm going to alternate. I'm going to go to you first, Joe. Pick one game on the undercard that you want to talk about, and either agree with the Swami or take him to task.
I would say I think the one that sticks out to me is you've got Homestead by 13 over Snider. Now, I love the boys from the east side. Lots of talent out there. I think that game will be closer. I think that's a close game. Again, I'm disappointed with Homestead's absolute inability to play physical football on the offensive line up front. So I think that's going to be difficult. I think Snider is Snider. There still will be some physicality there. I'm curious to see when Snider gets a few kids back, what they can do with that.
They can turn the corner a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, it's been a long time since Snider took a loss like that to Carroll last. I think the last time that happened was
1973 was Bishop Dwinger beat him by 35.
Him that bad, but also the Deuce Bowl when Northside laid it on Snider the COVID year when we were doing games when I was out doing games with Jeff Mahoney in the closet. You know what I mean? There was nothing
no
there.
one in the crowd and
Nobody
people wearing masks.
Yeah. So that was one where that was kind of the Deuce game where it was personal. But
okay.
I think Snider
You think Snider covers that?
I think Snider responds and covers, and I think that will be
does Snider win this game, or they just cover?
I like Snider by 3, and I think it'll be a very close football game. I think the boys from the east side kind of circle the wagons, and I think that's
even out in the 1-4, huh? Okay.
Yeah, yep.
You get a game.
West Noble wins by 7. Garrett, you have Garrett by 1.
Well, it's an upset special. So you agree it's an upset special?
Apparently.
Apparently you do. I think they have to be favored by at least 7, maybe 10 to 12, just because you could do the comparative scores. West Noble, to your point, seems like they're more versatile offensively and able to move the ball a little bit more with their quarterback and through the air. But I don't know. I just think Garrett's defense is really good. Playing at home, I think it's a low-scoring game. And I think the Railroaders pull off an upset by 1. Okay, I'm coming back to you. You get another one.
Southern Wells. 2 wins this year.
Love the Raiders.
You have Bluffton favored by 35. I'll take the points and Southern Wells.
Not to win, just the points.
Cover. Like they got some serious momentum going. I think, was it the last 3 years they didn't win a game, or did they win 1 last year?
I think they might have gotten 1. Yeah.
So I look at teams like Belmont, and I just say, just keep going.
Yeah.
Get somebody just get the momentum. Get 1 win. Now you got 2 wins this year.
But you
got to
get guys out.
I know.
And talking to Coach Nick Hall,
he's so good. He will turn it around.
He had a bunch of kids that just at the last second kind of bailed, I think, on the program, and that's such a shame.
That's such a shame.
But Southern Wells is a good example, and they deserve their
is the
props.
coach. They were our team of the week a few weeks ago, and they got some pizza. What's another game that you like?
Okay, let's get some cash flow going and let's start gambling. Okay.
Are we going on campus?
Yeah, I'm going on campus. I call me crazy. I know it could be a trap game, but I just don't think SIG puts up with that. I think IU goes up there and rolls Iowa. I like IU by about 17. I would lay the 7.5. I think that's what it is against Iowa.
Swami said 11.
Yep. Whatever.
You're still laying that?
I'm laying it. I think when I looked at the book today, I think the spread was maybe 7.5. I'll have to check, but I think IU will beat Iowa by 17. I like that. I think Marcus is under tremendous pressure with Notre Dame against Arkansas.
You're just taking 2 games right away, aren't you?
And I'm just going to give it to you real quick. I'd lay the 4.5 or 5 down in Fayetteville with Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame rolls Arkansas. And then my special on Saturday night is it's a whiteout.
Penn State.
I like the spread. I like the money line. I roll big time on Saturday night with Penn State.
What's the spread on that right now?
That spread right now is about
2.5 or something?
3.5 to 4. I
Okay.
wish it was 3 or under, but I definitely lay the points with Penn State. I think Penn State's got a better quarterback. I think Penn State's better in the trenches. Oregon's young. Dante Moore is the quarterback, and playing in a wideout for a quarterback is extremely difficult because you can have depth perception issues with that white and all that.
And the noise, it's going
and
to be
the noise.
raucous. Yeah.
So I think you lay the money on Penn State on Saturday night.
Okay. You got one more. Anything there that
I like Lures to continue to roll and get better. I think
35 seem about right? Or
Yeah, I think Concordia is just so young everywhere. Lures has 3 to 4 year starters on the offensive line that seem to be improving. Would I like to see them all in 3-point stances? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Firing off, get them in the sled, get them in the chutes,
Absolutely.
get them low, explode
Do they
out.
hit the sled anymore?
Coach Lindsey's doing a great job to.
just on Christmas Eve.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. I don't think they want to sled out Southwest now.
Oh no, Lures still has a sled.
Okay.
So, but you think Lures covers that, or is that 35
No.
seem about right?
No, I think they need all the momentum they can get. If I'm Coach Lindsey, I just lay it down and run the ball, and start working on that first down passing. Play action.
Has anybody
But-
ever played an 8-3 in the history of high school football? I would play an 8-3 tomorrow night if I'm Concordia.
But
That's
Look-
what they call loading up a box.
look what the offensive
box,
staff
right?
did at Lures. Early in the year, they did spread gun. I was at a game, and I was just thinking to myself, man, it'd feel good to be 1998 again. Let's get under center, get in some power sets, and just run the ball, boot when we have to, hard play action when we have to, especially early downs. And they looked good running it. Gaither, I love watching him run.
Strong.
He is low to
He's
the
a bowling
ground.
ball.
He's big. He's thick, and he can move.
And TJ Epperson and then Rory Kelly, they've got some nice young athletes
They're just
to build with.
it's week 6 from all of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I get
no,
it.
that feels like a team, and
They're getting ready to springboard.
that feels like a
They
team
are.
that can
They
make another return to state, doesn't it?
When you look at 3A North, you look at like a West Noble, you look at I don't know.
I don't know. Is there Knox? Somebody
And
out there? I mean,
Knox,
I haven't
maybe.
really looked closely enough.
The boys will fall on Friday night. There's nothing like it.
Nope.
Yep.
Go out to a game.
Absolutely.
Nothing like it.
Yep. And the weather's going to be great. And there's some fun matchups. And we'll be back next week to talk about football some more. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks.
It was
Swami.
great having you for Jackson Geiger. Thank you, Jackson. For Jake the Snake Smith, Brent, and the Cowboy QB, Joe Walburn. Thank you guys. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you next week, everybody.